The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack. This like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Monday, November 11th, 2024. Of course, as usual, I am your host, Scott Lewis. You can follow me at Barberchair Scott on all social media platforms. Follow the Barberchair Network and at Barberchair Net on all social media platforms, as well as our partners, H&B Media, and at H&B Media TV on Twitter, and at H&B Media on Instagram. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon, man, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. We've got 4 different tiers on there, man, that you can subscribe to depending on what you like on the network. And if you subscribe to the $10 all access feed, you will get 25% off your first order at the Barberchair Network merchandise shop. That is bcnetshop.com, man. Shout out to everybody watching us on Twitter. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube. The Twitter stream is actually working today. It was not working on Monday. Not Monday, but on Friday, but it's working right now. For some reason, Instagram was tweaking. So for those of you who check us out on Instagram, you're going to have to, check the double back, man. So we've got a big show for y'all today. Long show today, of course, leading up to Monday Night Football like we usually do. It's going to be the Rams and the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. So we've got a lot of football talk. And in the first hour, we're going to get into a whole bunch of Chicago Bears stuff in the local hour. And then in hour 2, Overreaction Monday. Pavy will be joining us for Weekend in Association. We break down everything that goes on in the NBA. And then in the final block, we got comedian Larry Legend joining us for this week's edition of Respect the Culture, man. So I'm going to bring in my co-hosts. We've got JR Bang, we've got Dante, we got Mikey. He's back off his hiatus. You can follow Dante at October Zone on Twitter. You can follow Bang and at JR Bang on all social media platforms. You can follow Mikey at Junior_Solito. Before we get into the actual football, non-football related, how was y'all weekend?
Solid, bro. Shout out my nigga Mikey, the only person to get the day off and still hop on Microsoft Teams. We appreciate you, bro.
Shout out to having it on the phone, on the go.
So, I mean, my weekend was cool. Non-football wise, it was nice and relaxing. Bang, Mikey, how was y'all's? You on mute, boss.
Everybody fucked up this week. He's still on mute.
Man, I've been trying to hit this goddamn button. But no, I'm on PTO. I'm on PTO. I can actually cut clips for First Black Champ. We just did the episode yesterday. One of our better we always have dope episodes, but this one you ain't even got to be a wrestling fan and feel this episode. You will totally understand and know what's going on. So shouts out to Cam from the Port. But outside of that, man, I'm on PTO. I'm happy and shit. Only thing I haven't done is drink, and that's probably gonna be after this.
I'm about to say that's shocking. You've been on PTO and you ain't drink.
Yeah, nah, that I just came from the doctor, my G.
Okay, that's fair.
I gotta slow it. Well, I don't drink a lot, but he like, yo, chill. Don't even think about it right now.
That's good.
That's valid.
Shout out to black men going to their doctors, man. Shout out to black men going
to a black doctor too.
To a black doctor. I got a black doctor.
A black male doctor at that. It's like, oh, brother, slow it down.
Mikey, how was your weekend, boss?
It was cool, man. Chilling. My best friend got engaged to his girl, which was kind of funny because I was at her crib all day. I was at their crib all day, and she had no idea. She's like, "What you doing in the city?" And I'm like, "Shit, just get my hair braided." And what you gonna be on? I'm like, nothing. Taking my girl out to the movies, and then we see her later on. She's like, "You motherfucker." But outside of that, that was cool. Being around some love, and then so I'm not gonna lie, I was high as shit. Like I smoked at least like 6 blunts from
Oh,
the
that's
end
amazing.
of the Germany game through the Bears game. So I don't even know really what happened.
That's dope. Hey, congratulations to you.
I was posted.
Yeah, man. So
That's
let's
crazy,
get.
G. That because the Bears were legit the worst part of my weekend. I can legit,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
honestly
I
say
mean,
that.
but they're
The
usually
weekend was
always
smooth.
they're usually always the worst part of my weekend, like
Yeah, let's talk
historically
about this shit.
in my
Let's
life.
talk about this.
But let's get into it. Nikhil hit me with the solo shot here, man. I'm gonna there we go.
It is the local hour.
Local hour, which is
Local
what
hour.
everybody is here to hear us complain about our football team, man. I'm gonna start off with the sound off. Like I said, I only do the sound off when I really have something to rant about, and today I do. Last night, if you watched yesterday's episode, listen to yesterday's episode of 79th and Halas, Bang filled in for my brother Flows because he's sick again. Yes, he has the immune system of a 4-year-old. I know all the jokes everybody says all the time, but I was angry. I wasn't really angry, but like I had a lot to say, and I think that was just because of it was fresh. I've had 24 hours to sit on what happened last night at Soldier Field, and honestly, I'm more angry. It kind of hit me all late last night, like in a flood. I started thinking about it, and I started getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And I'm like, how many times? I would say that I officially became a Bears fan, like in 2001, the season where the Jim Miller year they went 13-3. And now the season that Donovan Dog walked them down the field in the final game at the old Soldier Field, even though it's the same building. It's before they put that albatross on the side of it. And I thought about it. How many times my fandom, which is like 24 seasons right now, have I been legitimately happy? And I've come down to 3 instances. It was 2006. Well, 2001, I couldn't be happy because it was my first year really watching football. Like, I'm talking about like game 1 through 16. So it was new to me, so I didn't really have any. I was still trying to learn the game of football at the same time too. Well, I was out in 2001. Was I like 13? I think it was 13 in 2001. And so 2006 would probably be the first time that I felt ultimate joy as a Bears fan, any joy as a Bears fan. That Robbie Gold kick in the playoff game against the Seahawks. The NFC Championship game in 2006 is the peak of my Bears fandom. Even and it lasted up until the Devin Hester kick. Like when the Devin Hester kick ran down, that's like the ultimate high. When the Devin Hester kick returned to Super Bowl, it doesn't get any better than that as a Bears fan. Then you fast forward to 2010, real fun season, made it to the NFC Championship game. 2018, even though it was double doink, ended like shit. That was a fun year, leading off from the last minute Khalil Mack trade that nobody really thought was possibility to just the fun the team had the entire year. That's 3 times out of 24 years. And you look at the state of Chicago sports in general right now, every team sucks. The team that actually probably did the best was the Cubs. They finished with 83-79, but even then, there were high expectations and they failed them. Look at that. Look at the Blackhawks. They are like that picture of a Bugatti in the projects with you got kind of a dart and it's trash everything else. We all know about the Bears situation, which we've talked about. We're going to continue to talk about. Got the Chicago Sky. Finally got them a superstar. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They got a new head coach. Maybe that works. Probably not. Chicago Bulls are the epitome of mediocrity. There's nothing great. If you look at mediocre in the definition of mediocre in the dictionary, you're gonna see a picture of the Chicago Bulls logo. Chicago White Sox literally set the worst record in modern day history in baseball. And I don't know what Chicago Fire is. All I know, I'm pretty sure they suck too. But I need Chicago sports fans to have a come to Jesus moment, which I had to myself. This is who we are. Think about the history of every franchise. They always hope for lightning in a bottle. They always hope to get lucky. Like maybe 2 instances in the entire history of this sporting world in Chicago have they actually planned it and done it right. The Blackhawks dynasty and the Chicago Cubs teams. But even both of those runs ended because of ego and dumbass shit. See how they, Theo left, with contract situation with the Cubs. You see how the Blackhawks ended, not just with idiotic moves, not wanting to do more to to continue to run, but also because of, different allegations, not even allegations, different nasty stuff that happened in the inner workings of the team. And that's what we're seeing right here with the Chicago Bears once again. I think I'm more shocked because I didn't think we'd be here. I think we all said, we all said on this show. In fact, all Bears fans, we don't ever agree on anything as a fan base, but we all said that Matt Eberflus shouldn't have a job. I didn't think it was going to get this bad. I can't believe they were right back in the same situation, on the road to ruin another quarterback, on the road to figuring out just how does the offense get worse. Like, you've got a situation right now where I didn't think it get worse than Matt Nagy. I was like, this is terrible. Matt Eberflus makes Matt Nagy look like Bill Belichick. And it's gotten even worse even since last year. Luke Getsy has been fired twice in a calendar year, and he looks worlds better than whatever Shane Waldron's doing over there. The Bears didn't have their pick of the litter with the offensive coordinator. Why? Because no offensive coordinator is going to sign with what we said was a lame duck coach. So they didn't really have their pick of the litter. And you're attaching them to another guy who doesn't know what he's doing. Last night at the game, I've been to a lot of games over these last 4 years. Before I started covering the team, I'd only been to Soldier Field twice. Once when my brother played a high school game there, and two for my 30th birthday, the 2018 season, the Bears when they played the Jets. Because Bears tickets have always just been super expensive, and I didn't grow up rich, so I could never actually go to the games. I actually only been to 2 total Bears games before I started covering the team. The other one was a road game in Detroit, like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day 2010. That's how long ago that was. So prior to covering the team, I didn't see a lot of games in person. Since I've been covering the team, I started in 2021, full-time in 2022. I've seen a lot of bad games. I've seen a lot of bad losses. But yesterday was the worst loss I've ever seen. This fan base is apathetic now. You never want your fan base to reach apathy, where I just don't think they care. I've seen so many bad losses in person in that building. I've seen so many bad losses on television. What I've never seen is fans leave with like 8 minutes left in the game. What I've never seen is me heading into the game and the vibes are just dead. I mean, this team won 3 games 2 seasons ago, and I never, in any of those games I worked, ever felt the vibes as low as I felt it yesterday. I was in the elevator heading up to the press box, and one of the elevator ladies like, "Hey, we need to have a little bit more energy. Let's go Bears!" And everybody in there, from media members to season ticket holders, like, doing the Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fined. That team, those fans were checked out in the second quarter. I checked out at halftime. I went and got that crappy food they served us yesterday. I came back to my seat and I watched Red Zone for the second half. The game that I was actually at was background music. And we can sit up here, we can blame Matt Eberflus. We're going to do that. We can blame Shane Waldron. We're going to do that. We can blame Matt Eberflus. We can blame Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren. All this comes back to ownership. All comes back with the philosophy of this team. The philosophy of all Chicago ownership. They don't care about winning. And I really feel bad for the fans. And I'm speaking as a fan. It pisses me off because I don't know where's the light at the end of the tunnel. And I've said it before. I'm going to keep saying it. Kevin Warren runs this operation, whether fans want to believe me or not. But what we don't know is if he was a good hire still. And we'll get into that in a minute, which goes back to the McCaskies. George McCaskey, who has countlessly said, "I'm not a football guy." You don't want that kind of person running your team. And I have nothing against George McCaskey personally. He's a nice guy. Every time I've run into him, super nice, greet you like he's not the owner of the team. Cool dude, I have nothing wrong with him personally. But as an owner, he sucks. And if you look at other ownerships, Jerry Reinsdorf, it don't really matter. I saw the White Sox sale trip that I told everybody not to fall for. That's not going to happen. The only thing you can work is when he does die is that they actually do the sale. Chicago Bulls are not getting sold whether he dies or not. He's told his family to keep that team because of how much money they make, because the team is still stuck in the 1990s. 1998, we're coming on 27 years since the last time the Bulls won a championship. We're coming up on what 14 years since they made the Eastern Conference Finals. The Bears. I don't even. When's the last time they won a playoff game? Last time the Bears won a playoff game was 2010. It's 15 years ago. And you see that the Chicago White Sox were the last team in this city to win a playoff game. That's just been the total incompetence of the city in the whole. So my sound off to y'all as Chicago sports fans, you got to embrace it. This is who we are. We're not New York. We're not LA. We're not Boston. We're not none of that. This is truly the second city for real, because this is a city of losing ass sports teams. And that's how I'm going to end that with my sound off. I know it's about 10 minutes, but whatever. Let's get into the actual game, unfortunately, that happened last night. Bears lost that one 19-3. They're now going their 20 quarters without a touchdown scored, which is crazy. That London game feels like 100 years ago. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I want to hear my co-host's opinion. And I've talked about this on 7 Night House. I'm just going to say this. It's terrible. The defense there, for as much people who want to say that Matt Eberflus he's a good defensive coordinator, they're not even going for the kill shot anymore on the defense. They can't stop the run anymore without Andrew Billings out there. Offensively, I've never seen wide receivers run the same route as many times as they do. I've never seen this offensive line look as bad as they had. It looks worse than last year. Now, I'm not saying that last year's offensive line was good. I think Justin, his ability to run the ball, made that offensive line look much better than it was. And the fact that Caleb refuses to run with the football makes it look worse. And half of those sacks on Caleb as well. Caleb Williams, he looks like, I won't call him broken, but he's on the road to broken if you don't help this kid out. And I just don't have much. We can't even say, they lost to the worst team in the league. The Bears are in that conversation. We need to stop acting like the Bears are not in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's totally broken. There's 8 games left, and I just don't know how you continue to get through the rest of this season without making some change. And the fact that they're up there at Halas Hall, you got Matt Eberflus, he just spoke to the media 3 times since last night's loss, and he ain't said nothing all 3 times. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about, we're still working through things. You're supposed to be working on the Packers today. And you shouldn't be waiting until Wednesday to make changes. I shouldn't be waiting before I go up to Halas Hall on Wednesday to find out if Shane Waldron has been fired, which is not even a Band-Aid. That's not even going to help the situation. Or as DJ Moore said, you're not going to reinvent the wheel. So I just think right now this is bad, but it's going to get worse. I'm going to go to Mikey, man. What's your thoughts on last night's game?
Well, it was embarrassing. I had said that they quit last week during the Cardinals game because you could see it, especially with the big broken play before halftime. And then, there was a lot of another week of noise coming out of Halas Hall, another week of noise between all of the players, individual media assignments, whether that's on The Score, ESPN 1000, on Cole Komet's podcast. So there was more noise. And I just found it funny that they kept trying to they kept trying to paint this brush that, the media, it's the outside noise. It's like, no, y'all motherfuckers are the ones talking. You guys are the ones that can't, corral this. Matt Eberflus, you're the one that's doubling down, tripling down, on your mistakes and allowing this to fester. So I really wanted to see how they would bounce back. I thought being home, you kind of, get back at Soldier Field. You had an 8-game win streak. You were 4-0 there this year. 3-0, and then the Jacksonville game over in London that counts as a whole game. But you're 3-0 there. I figured, that you couldn't have given the Bears a better opportunity to serve them up a W on the platter, and they just came out completely flat. Once again, they do not score in the first quarter. They don't do anything offensively. They don't even score a touchdown. They haven't scored a touchdown since the go-ahead touchdown with 30-something seconds left against DC. It's at the point where apathy has set in for me. And we'll get into that. But just as far as the game, I see a group of guys that quit. I see a group of guys that are not playing for each other. I see a lot of bad body language. I see a lot of business decisions being made. I see Keenan Allen whiffing on blocks. I see DJ Moore half-ass running routes. I see Caleb Williams holding on the ball way too long, getting sacked. I see Caleb Williams not throwing the ball. I see Caleb Williams overthrowing the ball. I see a run defense that was just completely gassed. And we kind of knew that once you lose, the big fella, Andrew Billings, and they weren't a big run defense, to begin with. They weren't really doing that well this year in that aspect of the game. We saw Tyreek Stevenson again get picked on, one for the big completion of Austin Hooper, and then the one on the touchdown. So yeah, it was just a team that you can tell has not recovered from the Hail Mary incident, and that's if you can't recover from that, then you were never as good as we thought you were or were going to be. There's deeper and much more darker issues at hand, and it was just embarrassing. It was embarrassing, and I agree with you, Scott. I had tweeted like 3 weeks ago that the Bears are closer to a top 10 pick than they were the playoffs, and that's true. I think right now we're at 16. If the Rams win today, you have 14 with the schedule we have coming up. It's mock draft season again.
Dante, man, what's your take on after yesterday's affairs at Soldier Field?
It was actually insane, bro. Like I picked the Bears to win 14-10. I didn't expect much, especially with the uncertainty on the offensive line. But I mean, this is a situation where everything we said that was going to go wrong this season has gone wrong. Like literally everything. Everything we thought was a red flag, that motherfucker's on fire now. Like it's beyond a red flag. It's like, damn, we were right. So it's a situation where when you start to hear certain things like benching Caleb Williams, like I don't know if Adam Schefter was just trying to get clicks or whatever, but when you start to hear things like that, that leads me to pull the plug and fire everybody mode. Because there's no way in hell you come to me and tell me that you're at a point now at the midway point of the season where you're like, well, we might bench this kid and sit him down just to make sure we got to like, no. If that's the case, everybody needs to go, including Ryan Poles, because that's just complete malpractice. So after what I saw on Sunday, it's like the offense is, I don't know if some people are still running Luke Getsy's playbook or if it's just there is no playbook. One of my homies texted me. He was like, bro, do we practice offense during the week? And I was like, my nigga, at this point, I don't know. I can't answer that question because they will legit go out there and look completely lost the entire game. I know I read something that was talking about how they're trying to give Caleb Williams the same type of offense that Peyton Manning has, where he goes to the line with multiple plays. That's why he always checks out of shit. Well, first of all, the fact that he has to consistently check out of the original play tells you how bad the play calling is. Then they struggle to get the play calls in. And for as much as Caleb has struggled, and I will admit there are some concerns that we're going to get into that I personally have, they've done him no favors. And it's frustrating because we sat here the entire offseason and said, man, he's coming into the best situation that any rookie quarterback has ever had. That was bullshit. That was a flat out lie. Like in no way, shape, or form was that factual. Does he have wide receivers?
We could do a whole list of things we was all wrong about from this summer.
100%.
I damn near put that on the rundown.
100%. Like a lot of it, and I think it's just the excitement about it's easy to talk about how the Bears have never had a quarterback because you're right, we never have. But this is honestly outside of Justin and Mitch. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but outside of Justin, this was the first like high quarterback pick that I still expect, great things out of. So this is the one where we have every right to be nervous about how they're handling this kid. Because it's one thing to fuck up Rex Grossman or K McNown, but now you have somebody who has the talent to be elite and you're screwing this thing up again. So like for me, start to finish that game, I was like, oh no, we're fucked. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like any sense of optimism in terms of Chicago sports as a whole, but the Bears, they were the one team that I was like, nah, man, they trying to figure it out. They got it. Even when healthy, this offensive line is dog shit. So what am I getting excited for? And then, like we say, we see Caleb start to develop the same shit. And I know it was 3 years of Justin, but we see the same holding the ball too long. I text y'all like, does this nigga hate Cole Kmet? I don't understand why he's not throwing him the ball because he's standing there begging for the ball. It's so many plays where Cole is running for 5 or 6 yards, like with his hands up, and he don't get the ball. So like he's ignoring the layups, trying to go deep. The players are developing slow. The receivers are in the same locations. So it's like, where do we go? So I'm with Mikey. Like it's to the point where it's like I don't I don't want to say I don't care because this is one of those teams where we all care. The Bears are the one team that we all give a fuck about. But the shit is getting bad, bro. And it's like when you start continuing to have unwatchable football, we've done this for 3 quarterbacks now, bro. Where it's like it's weekends where you pull up and you don't want to watch this shit. By halftime, you got the 4 screen on and the Bears ain't on that bitch because it's just not fun to watch no more.
I mean, I think the best way you can always see how bad of a team is how many times do they go to them on the auto box on red zone. I'm pretty sure I didn't see them niggas one time on red zone yesterday.
Nah, they were on red zone, but it was always for like the worst shit. It was for like Caleb Williams getting sacked out of field goal range.
Yeah, like not because they're about to score.
Right.
Bang, well, I know your initial reaction yesterday, but how are you feeling 24 hours later about that game?
I feel very concerned about not only the rest of the season, but this organization as a whole. It just seems like we can't get out of our own way. I've said on many episodes here, I think that the Bears not developing a quarterback is kind of an overrated stat, because Rex Grossman was a late first round pick. K. McNown was never going to be developed. That was concerned about him when he was drafted. It was almost like, here, nigga, here's a quarterback. But when you look at the last 3 situations, now you have that concern. Mitchell Trubisky has turned out to not be what anybody thought he could be at the number 2 pick, regardless of anything else. He's not been serviceable. Justin Fields is currently a backup to Russell Wilson. But I do believe that when you look at those 2 quarterbacks, now you can say with those 2, you have questions, right? But now you have the number 1 pick. The Bears has never been in a position where they had the number 1 pick in the draft. They've never been in a position where they had the chance to get the best player in the draft. And now you get the word generational thrown around it. There's a lot of pressure that goes into that. So now it's sink or swim time, right? And look, Caleb Williams, we went through this yesterday because we had a couple of people on there saying, Justin Fields. Look, the Bears situation they're currently in right now is partly because you couldn't have paid Justin Fields a boatload of money, right? But now when you look at Caleb, the concerns that I said before he was drafted, I said on this show and on Some Dude that he holds the ball too long. So he's coming into a same situation as Justin. Justin held on to the ball too long. But something that Justin did better than Caleb is get the fuck out of Dodge. He's not getting out of Dodge. Him and Justin had a hard time of deep balls and connecting there. But one thing that Justin had was a connection with DJ Moore. So he does not have that with DJ Moore. He really does not have that with Keenan Allen. He does not have that with none of the wide receivers. You see them starting to run the ball very well, and then all of a sudden you throw 4 times in a row. Just a number of things that's going on with this team, with the quarterback himself, and with the offensive game plan that they have on there that makes me concerned. Do I have a concern of his long-term future? No, because he has a couple of years to develop and all of that. And if they get rid of the coach, we've seen where some quarterbacks lose their original coach and they go on to have great careers. But I would be lying if I would say that I'm not concerned because of the history of the last 2 situations they had at quarterback.
Now, yesterday on 7 the Halas, we were talking about rock bottom and things like that. And people are like, it can't get worse than this. Bang, you said on 7 yesterday that this ain't even rock bottom yet.
No.
I want you to explain to the people who missed 7 the Halas yesterday what you mean by this ain't rock bottom yet.
All right, so I want to shout out my man Herb Howard, who asked some amazing questions yesterday.
Amazing questions. Shout out to Herb and Jason. They were the firing squad. Jason Lee.
Yeah. I want to shout out to Herb, Jason. I want to shout out everybody that for the last 2 days have been pow, 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 and all of them. But a lot of people have been saying, and I heard Herb say that this was rock bottom. No, this is not rock bottom, ladies and gentlemen. Rock bottom is not here because you ain't even played the division yet, right? You lost to quite possibly the worst team in the league, but you ain't even got to the division yet. So next week, and I if you guys watched the press conference today, they did not say the name of the team that they're going to be playing next week. That is the Green Bay Packers, 12 o'clock at Soldier Field. And right now, they are the underdog in that game at home. The Bears have not been 6.5 points.
Underdog.
Right. They have not been successful against this team in years. And that is our major rival. That does not feel like a rivalry. This does not even feel like Bears-Packers week last year. So you would think if we lose that game and we lose that game in convincing fashion, that's rock bottom. No. Rock bottom is actually when you skip a week and then you go to Detroit to play the Lions on Thanksgiving. It is a nationally televised game at 12 o'clock on a holiday on Thanksgiving Day. All of the men are going to be around their TVs, and they're going to be wanting to watch the game while their wives are in the kitchen and they're cooking. And in Detroit, you're going to see a lot of people celebrating because they get to whoop our ass. And in Chicago, you're going to see a lot of people depressed because they're going to see us get our ass whooped by the Detroit Lions if we lose to the Detroit Lions. And if we lose to the Detroit Lions in blowout fashion, that, ladies and gentlemen, is rock bottom, because now the national media and everybody across the world, including all of the Shabuzi fans he's going to be performing that day, all of them are going to see the Bears get their ass whooped on the holiday. I wanted Matt Eberflus to get fired today. I don't think it's going to happen after the Green Bay game. I don't think it's going to happen after Minnesota. But if the Bears lose and they get their ass kicked on Thanksgiving, that is the mini bye. That's when Matt Eberflus' watch goes or starts. Friday, depending on how much we lose by, that's when you see what happens to Matt Eberflus. But that is rock bottom. Nationally televised, Thanksgiving, on Fox, to Durkins being handed out, and we get our ass whooped in front of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, that's rock bottom.
And you're right. You're right about it. If I didn't have family in Detroit, I don't know if I'd do that game. And on top of that, it was even worse. They're going to get blown out, and I got to hear that bullshit Shabuzi song at halftime. That's the worst.
That's a great song. Let's not get crazy.
That's a terrible fucking song. And like, shout out to him. Shout out to Black Country Artists. Much love. Hope he wins the Grammy. That song.
Real quick, if he get a Grammy, Jaquan get a Grammy. So
yeah,
I don't give a fuck about Jaquan, but that does nothing for me. Let's move on to Mr. Matt Eberflus, Shane Waldron. What's been happening since yesterday's game? And Ben, you said the thing about it, this don't even feel like Packer Week. As much as the Packers kick our ass, there's still always usually a buzz around Packer Week. Like, that's the time we're gonna get them. And I was leaving Soldier Field yesterday after press conferences, and I'm walking out the front, and there's still a couple fans who's left, and they tried to start up the Green Bay sucks chant, but like it was very faintly, like they didn't believe it, and the chant only lasted twice, and then they went to Fire Flus. So the fans don't even care about that. But I know Nikhil, you got the video queued up. Shout out to our guys Jonathan Hood and David Kaplan, friends of the program.
Doing a great job. Keep up the good work, Scott.
Shout out to Cap and J Hood. But they have the Cap and J Hood morning show. They usually interview Matt Eberflus every Monday morning. But today has been a little different. So I want to play a couple seconds of that interview.
You're in crisis. Just say it. Yes, this is a freaking crisis, and we better close ranks and find a way to fix this. Because it's freaking embarrassing to have a charter franchise look that god-awful, unprepared, uninspired, and it falls at his feet. It does. Say it.
Yeah, the answers are all the same,
For Christ's sake.
They're the same answers, though, because for a couple years, he never put it on himself. And now this year, he's saying, yeah, it's all on me. It falls on me. Yeah, it does. It always fell on you.
Shout out to our guys, man. I was laughing so loudly when I saw that, because when Cap gets mad, it's not performative. No, Cap be actually pissed. And I actually think he calms himself down. Like, I don't know how he hasn't slipped up and cussed a couple times.
Oh, he almost did today.
Yeah,
he almost did today.
He cooked his ass in a white jacket too. That's even better. That's the best part.
Say it. But everything that's been going on since that game last night, these dudes still don't know what they're doing, and Monday's is over. Like, I'm pretty sure they're wrapping up team meetings or whatever at Halas Hall today. Tomorrow's their off day, and then Wednesday be the first. practice of the week. And look, I'm gonna quote this from Adam Ho from the Athletic from CHGO, who was at Halas Hall today. I was not there today. I only go on Wednesdays. I'm not driving an hour and a half just to hear Flus talk for 10 minutes. But Adam Ho tweeted this: odd dynamics at Halas Hall today, with Matt Eberflus vaguely alluding to offensive changes, but not announcing those changes. Those inside the building are currently in the dark about what the plan is this week. Typically, coaches are turning their attention to the next opponent by Monday afternoon, but right now they're waiting for some direction. As poorly as the last 3 Sundays are going, the Mondays haven't been much better. That tells you everything you need to know right there. Yep. That you got a team in the Green Bay Packers, your sworn enemy, And he said you think about a Monday after. I'm be real. You probably supposed to think about that if you're a coach. A couple hours after the game, like when you sitting there at the crib on Sunday night with your glass of whiskey, watching Sunday Night Football, watching film, you need to be thinking about the game the next day. The fact that you got coaches, staff members going around and they don't know what's going on, that tells you everything you need to know. That it's the fact that, and by the way, like I said, I don't think firing Shane Waldron does anything. Thomas Brown being offensive coordinator, Kerry Joseph being offensive coordinator, that does nothing for me. Thomas Brown was offensive coordinator last year when they took the play calling duties away from Frank Reich. It didn't look much different. And very rarely do you see times where the play calling shifted midseason and looks different. Both of these dudes got to go. And the fact that you got all this, and Flus has been up there 3 times. If you include the interview with Captain Jay Hood, the post-game interview with us this morning, he said nothing. If I got to hear about process, we're figuring that out. It's nonsense. And if you know that you're going to get a new play caller, don't you think you should name it as early as possible to give this dude the most time possible to prepare, especially against an offense like that? You think Matt LaFleur ain't got ways on how he's going to bust this defense down? It just doesn't make sense to me. You look at every other organization in the NFL, and the Bears are just like, if the fans can see this, I don't understand why they can't see it. Or if they do see it, they just don't care. And Flus goes up there, he look like you got punched in the chest. Like you up there stuttering like Ron Harper yesterday. And I'm fed up with it. And I just feel like this is just going to be one thing. Okay, so when I go up there on Wednesday, they're going to announce that Shane Waldron either been fired or his calling abilities have been stripped. And if you're going to strip him on play calling duties, you might as well just fire the nigga, because it's not like Matt Nagy when Matt Nagy was the head coach and he just got rid of duties. If you're going to strip him of duties, just get rid of him. And then you're going to go into Green Bay. The first drive might look good because, I don't know, maybe Thomas Brown or whoever actually has scripted plays. Something Shane Waldron doesn't have. I've never heard of a coach not having scripted plays. It's the most insane thing ever. Nigga, I got scripted plays on Madden. Like, it just don't make no sense. So you go up there, it might look good for a drive or two, and then reality gets ran down to you, and then we're right back to what we were last week. What we do now? What we gonna do now? We're gonna be facing blitzes. Like the blitzes that you've seen, like Caleb Williams and this offense have been shut down by 3 defenses who ain't nothing. So what you going up against this Green Bay defense that's really good? What you gonna do is that Packer defense, that Viking defense, where if you're Brian Flores, keep blitzing that nigga. He can't handle normal blitzes. Keep blitzing that nigga. It is something that we're just going to be fed this crap. And it's not even a point. It's not even a point to doing that, in my personal opinion. Mikey, what do you think about what you heard from Flus over these last 24 hours? This picture right here, this pissed me off more than anything. What are you laughing about, dude? There's nothing to laugh about. What do you think? Do you think Waldron's gone? And are you like me where it doesn't matter?
In the grand scheme of things, from a head coach standpoint, it doesn't matter because I think he has cemented his fate, whether that be tonight, tomorrow, or, in a month and a half, on Black Monday when coaches get that pink slip. The only thing that matters this season is Caleb Williams for the rest of the year. The playoffs are already, could sweep that under the rug. The only thing that matters is not breaking him more than he is broken currently, because you can see it on the film. You can see it just when you're watching it live. You can see it in his body language. You could see it with his teammates. There's something wrong there. So everything revolves around how do we salvage Caleb Williams and how do we get some positive green check marks in his resume for this season to build on for next year's staff. So I think possibly switching to Thomas Brown, being the offensive coordinator and calling plays, that might help. My only thing is I don't know how much switching coordinators does not change the fact that Braxton Jones is hurt, Darnell Wright is hurt, Tevin Jenkins can't stay on the field, Nate Davis doesn't want to play football. That that won't be fixed. But maybe we could get some different route concepts for the wide receivers. Maybe Thomas Brown has a vision on how he could get the ball to DJ Moore early and often and Cole Kmet and utilize them and gain positive momentum. When it comes to Flus, he's a dead man walking. Nothing he says is of relevance. I texted you earlier. He's a substitute teacher. They don't respect him. You can tell they don't respect him. You can tell that he lost the locker. Nobody will say it because they're all professionals. And whether they're on the Chicago Bears this year or they're looking to play for a team next year, you never want to actually put that out there because that, you don't want to have that on your jacket. But they don't respect him. I don't understand why Shane Waldron, if there's going to be changes on offense, I don't understand why Shane Waldron hasn't been fired yet. It's 4:45 p.m. and he still has a job. To me, that leads me to believe that they're just going to strip him of play calling. He's still going to be in the building. And that's just another half-assed measure under Matt Eberflus and under Ryan Poles. So for me, he's already made his bed. There's no coming back from this. When you're gifted, because they were gifted, Caleb Williams. When you were gifted a talent like that, there's no reason that he should be playing like this. There's no reason that he should look like this. When you have all of this money invested in all of these wide receivers, there's no reason for it to look like this. Right now, at 4-5, they are worse off than they were last year this season at 2-7. You can't tell me that Luke Getsy wouldn't have this offense somewhat decent. At least he had his certain things he would hang his hat on. I've been saying it for weeks. This Bears team has no rhyme or reason. They don't do anything well but be inconsistent. And at the end of the day, that falls on the head coach. And the head coach right now, this 24, 48-hour shit, he's sitting with the fact that the moment that I take that play sheet from stuttering Stanley Shane Waldron's hands, that I've sealed my fate. I'm gone because that's another OC.
Dante, what's your take on that? I think Mikey gave a good a good take on changing it, if what it could help at all. Do you agree with him, or do you agree with me that is hopeless regardless?
No, you got to make a change. You got to make a change because we keep talking about Caleb developing these bad habits, and the telltale sign for me was. And I'm not one of those people that read a lot in the pictures and body language and all that shit. But when Caleb is literally sitting there shaking his head and you're fucking laughing, and we just lost 19-3, like, there's a clear disconnect here. And it was something that, we mentioned it during the Hard Knocks episodes. And like I tried to play it off, but like, no, if you ever notice, Caleb would always give extremely detailed answers. And then Eberflus or Waldron would be like, yeah. No, good job. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like it's to the point where it's like, is he smarter than them? Like, is he seeing the game at a different level? Like, obviously he needs to be coached, but with Waldron, the JSN thing, I didn't want to put too much into it because he was the rookie and he was the number 3 receiver. So of course he wanted the ball more. Every receiver has an ego. But when you see the lack of continuity, you see the route concepts that don't make sense, that don't mesh. When you see that you aren't attacking all levels of the field, when you see the consistently, the same shit we saw with Matt Nagy, where you're going east and west when you're in the red zone, like it's just ass backwards. And so I think the change has to happen. I think this idea that we need to hold on for certain things, no. Like, I think if I'm Kevin Warren, because y'all know who I think called the shots, but if I'm Kevin Warren or Ryan Poles, I go to him and say, no, fire him. Like, he's done. This is the reason we put this staff together with all these former offensive coordinators. Yeah, they can run some variation of what's already being installed and let them put their own flavor to it, but get him the fuck out of here, away from my quarterback. So no, I think he has to go.
Bang, man, what you think about the Waldron thing? Is it any type of Band-Aid at all?
No. Not only do I think it's no Band-Aid in sight, one of the things that I'm starting to believe is that this organization, or at least Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, and Shane Waldron did not know what they was getting themselves into. Or even worse, they came in thinking that Caleb Williams was so pro ready that he was going to be the savior. And I think the latter is true. I think that they thought that they was getting in somebody that was just so pro ready and really read into that that CJ Stroud shit, thinking that this man could come in and be CJ Stroud and not understanding that that was an anomaly. Or it was an anomaly to the Bears, because you look at what Jaden Daniels is doing with the Washington Commanders. They thought that that was going to be them, and they didn't really put any thoughts into really true development. I start to think about watching Hard Knocks and hearing what Nick Saban said. And I thought, and I still think, that Nick Saban really was telling Matt Eberflus, yo, you have something. Don't fuck it up. But when you look at Eberflus and you look at Caleb, and just go back and look at that Hard Knocks, those Hard Knock episodes and those conversations between those two. And it felt like Caleb leading Eberflus and not Eberflus leading Caleb. And we didn't really see Caleb and Shane Waldron interactions on Hard Knocks.
They didn't show none of that.
They didn't show that. They didn't show that at all. So I now have questions on what the development plan really looked like, or did they really think coming in that, hey, we ain't got to worry about nothing. We're going to have a CJ Stroud type of situation here because we filled the team with weapons around him. All he got to do is do him. You didn't have a plan to develop him. I'm really questioning if there was really a true plan in place on development, or you just thought somebody was going to come in and be NFL ready. And that's not the case.
I want to go to Caleb. By the way, I see Bobby in the comments said, did y'all see the Athletic article? Yeah, I'm actually going to get to that in a minute. Ooh. I have quotes that we're going to show that I'm going to talk about. So we are going to talk about that. But I want to talk about Caleb real quick. You know, when it goes to shifting blame, nobody here in this situation is blameless. I don't think there's anybody to blame.
Yeah, no.
But you could call me whatever you want to call me. I'm going to always give rookie quarterbacks the benefit of the doubt. I just am. Because they're rookies. They're still learning. Now, there's a lot of stuff that he does that he needs to stop. But I also think that's because coaching ain't talking to him. When I'm in the booth, there's a couple things I see. One, this goes back to Waldron. These wide receivers are not open. I've even in the Dante Pettis, who's the other niggas that they had. I don't even remember who had that. Byron Pringle days. I ain't never seen wide receivers struggle to get open like this because of the routes and the concepts that Shane Waldron is throwing out there. So when he sees there's nobody open, I know Caleb has always said, I don't like to run. I want to be a pass quarterback. That is fine. But when they're giving you room to run. There's a lot of sacks out there. I'll say out of those 9 yesterday, I'll say maybe 3 or 4 of them were probably on him. But you got to move. Like you said, Bang, the best thing that Justin did compared to what Caleb does is he got out of Dodge. You got to get out of Dodge anymore. Yesterday was, to me, his worst game as a pro, even worse than the Tennessee game. So when he did have time to throw, which wasn't a lot, he was just off. So I think I would give him maybe 5% of the blame. I'm not blaming too much on rookie quarterback who got 2 idiots in his headset telling him what to do. Like you said, Dante, they're giving him the Peyton Manning offense, which I hate because it's 2024. Peyton Manning retired almost a decade ago. I'm tired of these old concepts. Let's say you want to use that. He's always audible, and that just tells you what kind of stupid plays are coming in. So I believe that kind of stuff you got to teach about him. So I'm concerned because, as Mikey says, them habits, they're starting to pile up. And what Nick Saban said on Hard Knocks, what Kevin O'Connell said, what Tom Brady has said, there's been more young quarterbacks ruined than quarterbacks who have made it in the NFL. So that is why I'm concerned. But as far as actually dishing out blame, I'm giving him the least blame because of who he's surrounded by. But one thing that scares me more than anything is what I saw with Justin in year 2. it looks like he's petrified to throw the ball sometimes. His footwork is real kind of questionable because he's getting body. Like Jake Cutler got sacked 8 times one time. Justin Fields got sacked 9 times on his debut. He got sacked 9 times yesterday. He's been sacked like 17 times in the last. All right, I don't know what happened with the mute. But anyway, the fuck?
It should like keep this get like unconnected or something.
Okay, are we good now?
Yeah.
See, I hear you.
All right, cool. So when it comes to what was I saying? I ain't lost my train of thought. What was I just saying? I was talking about
You was talking about
Caleb.
Oh, I was talking about the sacks. There we go.
Sacks.
He's on. Yeah, he's on.
Nigga's funny. You talking about Caleb?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so he's on pace to be sacked 72 times this year, which would be the second most in NFL history, only second to David Carr. David Carr has the most sacks, and that destroyed any type of potential he had. So that's what I'm worried about that. But Mikey, how much blame are you putting on Caleb?
Well, I'm not just looking at this as a 1-game sample from yesterday. I'm looking at it over the last 3. And I'm just looking at it in all of like kind of like the losses, but just going off of the last 3, it's more than 5%. Like in typical Bears fashion, I think Olin Cruz said it really well this morning. He says that after rewatching the film, he wishes that he could just put the blame solely on the O-line or solely on Waldron or solely on the wide receivers, but there's blame all around. Like Caleb Williams is not doing even the most simplest of things that we require out of him. He's not being accurate. He's not playing on time. His feet are messed up. That has nothing to do with coaching or his players. That is on him. I honestly feel like, and we saw this last year, and I'm going to give Justin Fields his flowers just for this. I think now in retrospect, we misunderstood the quote, but when they asked him what was wrong last year, Justin Fields, why he was playing he says, I think coaching. And all of us and all of the Bears fans, we automatically went to Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy has long been removed. We have another quarterback, and we're seeing now it's not a Luke Getsy thing. This is a Matt Eberflus thing. When you have a pussy-ass minded head coach who is defensive minded, who is coaching to not lose the game, this is what you get. You get 5-star talent quarterback, 5-star talent wide receiver. You get a neutered offense. You get people who get the balls and the legs cut from under them and are told, you better not throw a pick. I said it back during the Colts game, and I thought people thought I was tripping. He was really throwing Caleb under the bus for the pick to Roma Dunze that hit Roma Dunze in the fucking chest and bounced up. It hit him on the sideline, bounced off his chest. A DB for the Colts made a crazy pick, got his foot and bounced. How is that Caleb Williams' fault? Oh, he's got to protect the ball. It hit his wide receiver in the chest. This is all systemic, and it is now embedded in Caleb Williams' brain, and he's playing like that. He is playing scared. There are wide receivers that get open, and there are times where his line is blocking for him. Out of the 9 sacks yesterday, I counted 5 of them being a result of Caleb Williams' inability to throw the ball away or climb out the pocket and move. So this is not just a Waldron everything. This is a massive fucking, how we like to call, this is arroz con pollo for Puerto Ricans. And when you make arroz con pollo, you have a million different ingredients. There's a million different ingredients contributing to Caleb Williams' downfall. But for him, the only thing that he can control is his accuracy and his footwork and playing on time. And right now, I'm not seeing it. The deep ball it's been terrible since he's put on this jersey. And the other thing is, teams are now realizing that these Bears wide receivers cannot get open in man-on-man coverage. The Bears are being covered the second most in the league on man-and-man, and we are seeing DJ Moore can't get open. Keenan Allen can't get open. Rome Odunze can't get open. When these guys do get open, Caleb's not able to give him the ball for whatever reason. So I think for where we at right now and where we're going, he does need a fresh ear, a fresh voice in his ear. You can see he clearly doesn't fuck with Shane Waldron. That picture is damning. And they need to find a way to make it easier for him. He's got to hit the layups, and he's not even hitting that.
I mean, you bring up some good points, 100%, man. I want to move focus to the two guys who run this thing, Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren. My brother said last week after the loss to Arizona, he needs to go. I said yesterday on 7 night to Halas, I have no problem with him being fired. As a matter of fact, after what I felt yesterday at the end of that game, if I owned the Bears, that nigga wouldn't have left Soldier Field with a job. Dante, I want your opinion, man. We were talking about earlier about how many things we were wrong about from the summer. Is it a reactionary thing to say that we were wrong about Ryan Poles, or are you still somewhat with him?
It was reactionary. It's reactionary. We're just upset. And I think he has not done what he needed to do with the offensive line. But when we've talked about this plan and the way he's, nailed every step that he wanted to so far, and taking a step back, I know we had high expectations for this season, but you go into this offseason with, again, a lot of cap space, what may turn out to be a higher draft pick than you anticipated, a high second-round pick and your second-round pick, and not only a solid offensive line draft class, but a very solid offensive line free agent class. So I think it's really too soon to say we should fire him. I know, like I said, I think that's just more so us being upset with Ryan Poles, because at the end of the day, the issues that we all had and we all brought up before the season are the same issues. We can't protect the quarterback. If you can't protect him, it doesn't matter what plays you call. We could bring Kyle Shanahan in. If we have a dog shit offensive line, I don't see him making that work. You have to have something there. I think we've done too much patchwork, too much. Okay, I scouted this guy. Y'all got to trust me. No. We need sure things on the offensive line. Detroit, they drafted sure things on the offensive line. These teams that are elite on the offensive line, they spent high draft capital. They spent a lot of fucking money to say, hey, lock this up. So that's what the Bears have to do. So I think it's premature to say, we were wrong about him. But I think also when we talk about the history of the Bears, we've done this before. We did the same thing with Phil Emery when he had a good draft, and then the people turned out to be weak as hell. So I think it's one of those things where when you see what could be, and it's all right, bro, you built it, you stripped down the roster to the screws, you cut the dead weight, you cut the dead money, you added talent, and you were the one who said, hey, we got to win this year. Now it's time to win, and you're not winning. So I mean, he deserves the heat, but I think it's way too soon to say that we were wrong about him because he has put a really good roster together. I think it's the coach is the issue, and that goes back to my big overall question that I text y'all once a fucking week: who's running the show?
Well, that goes to Mr. Warren, Kevin Warren, as I like to call him, Bunk Suit or TED Talk Kevo, because every time he talks, it's like he talks on the TED Talk. It's ridiculous. I want to bring up some quotes. So this is an article. Shout out to Kevin Fishbane, Athletic. He tweeted this out from Mike Sando, who is a writer for the Athletic and the New York Times. He said this in his Pick Six column. He said, word around the league, I think a Bear structure featuring an empowered, engaged team president, which is Kevin Warren, all but rules out the possibility Chicago would seek established power coaches, even though such candidates will likely handle a market as tough as Chicago more comfortably than Eberflus has, or the next hot coordinator might. The GM won't want to fire the coach unless the president is on board with that, and the president is not going to turn the reins over to a proven coach. One exec predicted. The structure definitely defines how much oxygen is left in the room, and there's not a lot. You're not going to get a big fish. He goes on to this next quote. We can bring that up. We go. He said that would point towards Chicago pursuing any number of the young offensive coordinators enjoying strong seasons. The Lions, Ben Johnson, or the Houston Texans, Bobby Slowick, were hot names entering this season. Tampa Bay is Liam Cohen. Atlanta, Zach Robinson. Arizona's Drew Petzing. Buffalo's Joe Brady will fit the mold of younger coordinators leading offenses correctly, ranked among the top 10 in EPA per play. Philadelphia's offensive ranks 11 under first-year coordinator Kellen Moore. It feels early to start walking down towards that road. Half the league wants to be 4-5. A coach from another team said. What's more interesting is the nosedive after the Hail Mary. Is this the thing free falling? Have they taken the cannonball blast and they just cannot stop the water? That's more interesting than, okay, if they make a move, who would it be? To me, this article kind of just confirms what I've been saying, that Kevin Warren is running the show, because what it says that Ryan Poles wouldn't get rid of the general manager unless the president wants. My question is this, not who runs the show. It's Kevin Warren. It's what does he do? What is his purpose since he's been here? You got this. You know, we heard about the alleged meetings they had in the offseason about potentially getting rid of Matt Eberflus, but they never did it. And then no progress whatsoever has been made on that stadium. So my question is, what does he do? He don't talk. Yesterday before the press conference, he poked his head out, looked around, said hi to us, and left back in. At first, I was like, oh, is he going to tell us Matt Eberflus fly? No, he probably just saying who was in the room. So I'm going to go to Bang, because you've been on he just sit down, come down to the 50, watch a game for forever. What do these articles tell you about Kevin Warren?
It don't tell me shit, because you say, first of all, let me say this. Gene said, talk to Fishbane about the Lil Durk quote. Let me just say what you said.
Yeah, what?
Gene said, talk to Fishbane about the Lil Durk quote.
Yeah, also that was Fishbane who said it. By the way, if y'all missed it yesterday on 7 Night Halas, I was sitting in the game. Somebody said, damn, man, the Bears are winless since Dirk got arrested. And I was like, who said that? I was dying laughing. I knew it wasn't her. I was sitting right next to him. So it was Fishbane. That's hilarious.
All right, so first off, man, I don't understand that power dynamic, because as you just said, what does Kevin Warren do? What is the power dynamic? We only hear from Kevin Warren when there's stadium stuff that's going on. We haven't heard anything about really the state of the team from him. So I'm confused on what that is. How with that being said, however, that is a concerning article. We sit up here and kick around Matt Eberflus getting fired, but then we've heard reports from a couple of people that are saying like, not so fast, my friend. He might be around. All right. They bring up the Trace Armstrong thing. I didn't even know until yesterday that Waldron was a Trace Armstrong guy too. So that's even wild in saying that. But with all of those tea leaves, you look and you say, okay, it goes back to what I said earlier. What is the plan? Nobody is really coming out and saying the plan. Me in my job for the last month and a half, and Scott knows this because I'd be like, no, I can't do this shit because I'm stressed. I got to take care of this because we're structuring a plan for 2025. What is the Bears' plan? I truly believe that they was like, yo, we got an NFL-ready quarterback. Let's throw Caleb to the wolves and have him save us. And now that's not working. You need the leader of your organization to come out and say something, to give some type of guidance. He doesn't have to give a vote of confidence. He could just speak on the state of the team. And Ryan Poles is giving us GM speak. Eberflus is giving us coach speak. So it's like, yo, what does he do for Fishbane to say that other people are saying, I don't know about that organization because the power dynamic. So I'm really confused. But it also leads me to believe that it's basically them telling us Ben Johnson ain't coming here. It's basically them telling us that Mike Vrabel ain't coming here. It's telling us that Bill Belichick or any other top flight coach not only is not coming here, they're never coming here. They're making this to be like a smaller situation like the Dallas Cowboys have, where Jerry Jones don't want to have anybody on that staff, coaching staff or whatever, that's bigger than him and bigger than the name. And the Bears ain't even earned that because they ain't won shit since 1985. And now ended with this, which makes it even more concerning. If I am one of those coaches, why do I want to come to the Bears in the first place? I told somebody this the other day. We're going to fuck around. And this is not saying that Joe Brady is a bad coach, anything like that. But we're going to fuck around to get like Bobby Slowick or Joe Brady to be our head coach. We're going to find an offensive mind to lead us. They're going to look at an organization where they've seen some success. They're not going to look at Detroit because Ben Johnson is going to come with a lot of caveats, and Mike Vrabel and others like him is going to want some power. They are experienced head coaches that have seen some success. So we're going to mess around and get a first-time head coach like Bobby Slowick, Joe Brady, or somebody of that ilk that is just looking for a job. And that, my friends, will be the end of what we know, because the structure will never be there, because the people that's making the decisions are never going to have a structure. Just go hire footballs on and get it out the way, but you don't want to do that.
That is the depressing thought, but probably a true thought. And by the way, Bobby, that's 100% why they didn't call Jim Harbaugh. 100%.
100%.
And I know we're gonna move. I know we're gonna move on, but I just want to say this. And I had told y'all last week and the last 2 weeks, I said y'all are ready to repeat this cycle with another first-time head coach. And like that's something that Bears fans are gonna have to just understand. Like Bang said, the cycle is the cycle. That probably will be what it is, but it's time to get an actually established voice, and we see that the Bears don't want nobody swinging a bigger dick than them in the building.
Unfortunately, I have nothing to say about that because I want to disagree, but I can't. Now it's time to play the first game show, and I'm not going to hold you history. We're going to call this one, Where's the Win? I'm going to take it off to my guy, Bang. He's going to intro us.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am J.R. Bang, and welcome to Where's the Win, where we look at the upcoming Bears schedule and we pick out which games they're going to win or lose. And now I pass it on over to our host, Scott Lewis.
Thank you very much, J.R. Bang. I've got the game show host microphone up right now. We're going to go through the Bears' remaining 8 games. I'm going to tell you where the game is at, who they're playing. We're going to give a percentage of what chance the Bears have to win which game before we ultimately pick who's going to win this game or any of them. So welcome to Where's the Win? We're going to start with this Sunday at Soldier Field at 12 o'clock. They've got the Fox A squad there. We got Kevin Burkhardt. We've got Tom Brady. We've got Aaron Andrews. The whole crew will be there to watch this ridiculous game. The Packers are 6.5 favorites heading into this game on Sunday. I've got the Bears with a 5% chance of winning this game, and they are not going to win this game. They are going to lose 4 in a row. Gonna go to Dante. Give me a percentage, and do they win on Sunday?
My percentage is 2%. They are going to get their ass smacked on Sunday.
Bang, what is your percentage and what is your pick?
Well, I do believe that Jordan Love will throw some ducks, but however, the offense won't capitalize. In fact, I believe that the Bears won't score a touchdown this game. They have no chance in hell of winning this game. I give them 0%.
Mikey, there's no number less than 0, but what percentage do you give the Bears, and do they win on Sunday?
I'll give them a 1% chance, but they are not winning.
All right, but Courtney in the green room, no, we are not okay. We are very mentally deranged right now. But now we're gonna go on to our.
Do you hear my voice today, Courtney? We are crazy and insane.
We are gonna go to our neighbors in the north. That is Minnesota. The Vikings are gonna come in. They are number 2 in the NFC North to Chicago to play the Bears first time this year. I'm gonna give the Bears a 40% chance to win this one, and this is one win that I think they will get. They will break the streak and beat the Minnesota Vikings in a game that they will only score 1 touchdown, but the defense will get it done against Sam Darnold. I'm going with the Bears. Dante, percentage and pick.
Well, brother, you know, one of my favorite Prince songs is 1999. I am giving the Chicago Bears a 19% chance to win this game. They are definitely going to lose this motherfucker. Brian Flores is a horrible coach, but he's going to look amazing that Sunday on the lakefront.
Bang, what do you have against Minnesota?
I give the Bears a 50-50 shot because Sam Darnold ain't shit again. And since he's not shit again, this could be a game that they steal. This one's a 50-50 chance, but I have the Bears losing by a field goal.
Mikey, what do you have here? Can they stop the bleeding and get a win at home?
And Mikey's on mute.
And that is a fine.
I was gonna say, you know what, Scott? Absolutely not. Brian Flores going up against this offensive line, 2% chance the Bears catch an L.
The Bears catch an L, then they will have 10 days off. Not 10 days, 4 days off. Very short weekend. They will be, as Banks said earlier, finally reaching rock bottom. Speaking of rock bottom, just like the People's Champion, The Rock, we've got the Bears heading to Motown, facing the Detroit Lions, and I give them a 5% chance in honor of the 5 members of the Temptations. The Bears are going to lose. They're not going to score a touchdown. Lions will win in dramatic fashion, and there will be a lot of niggas and buffs yelling at Bears fans. Dante, what do you got in Detroit?
Well, my brother in Christ, this one's going to get ugly. I have the Bears with a 21-point loss. I think we're going to get smoked. I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think there's a chance in hell they win this game. So I'm going to go with a 0.5%.
Bang, you said this is where the roof caves in. What percentage you give them, and how does it happen?
The Bears have a much chance to win this game as Regina Hall has of being in my wife and having my kids. The Bears will lose, get their ass beat, and Matt Eberflus will get fired on Friday. The Bears lose 40-3.
And Mikey, you still don't have a win for this team. Do they get it here, or will they be embarrassed in front of Shabuzi?
There will be no turkey leg for Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, 1 passing TD, David Montgomery, 3 TDs. The Bears catch a L.
The Bears catch a L, and then they will have 10 days off before they head to the Yay area, home of Too Short and E40, where they will play on against Brock Purdy, MAGA endorser Nick Bosa, and the San Francisco 49ers. I give them a 9% chance of winning this one, and they will lose again, but at least I will try to see what San Francisco has in store when I visit. Dante, what do you got against the Niners?
Well, Scott, before I give you my pick, I want to shout out whichever one of the halal guys prayed for this food, because this is banging right now. I am going with the San Francisco 49ers, even though they play in Santa Clara. I give the Bears a 17% chance to win this game, but that'll probably drop down to about a 4.9% chance. I think they get smoked again.
And just for those you counting home, I only have us with 1 win. Nobody else has a win on here. Bang, what do you have going on in the Yay area?
Oh, man, there's going to be a lot of whips being ghost written across Santa Clara. I'll tell you that much. Boy, I'll tell you, this is going to be a homecoming game. Jerry Rice and Roger Craig and Joe Montana and shit. Other players you didn't even know played for the San Francisco 49ers. Like Merton Hanks is going to be doing shit like this all game long. The Bears have no chance of winning that game. George Kittle's wife is going to be on the sidelines looking fine. And that fullback's wife is going to make some fantastic coat to celebrate the Bears getting their ass whooped in Santa Clara.
Mikey, what do you got going on in the Yay area? Do you think that we should just see what the Warriors schedule's like and catch a Warrior game instead of going to this one?
You got a better chance of Jonathan Kuminga dropping a triple-double that night than the Bears winning. That will be the mortgage play. Christian McCaffrey, 3 touchdowns. George Kittle, noted, loved Bears fan, 1 touchdown. That is a 44-12 Niners win.
And then the next week, we all love Monday Night Football, though. Dun, 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 dun. We all love Joe Buck, and we all love Troy Aikman. And the Bears be facing the Vikings once again, this time at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. I had the Bears winning at home. They will not be winning this one, but I still give them a little bit of a chance. I give them a 20% chance. Having said all of that, not only will they lose, they're not even going to score 14 points in this one. This one will be the blowout. I've got the Vikings. Dante, you still don't have a win here. Do they get one here against their rivals?
No, brother, the losing streak continues. The Chicago Bears will lose to the Minnesota Vikings at USA Bank Stadium and continue their losing streak in the NFC North. I hate to break it to you. I don't even want to give you a percentage because my hopes are so low. It's more so like Prince. I got to just give you the symbol. Like, there's no chance in hell they win this game.
And Bane, do you think that Bears fans should just go next door to Target Stadium to go watch Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Go! Skull! As many times that I did that, that's the percentage of chance I give the Bears. 3% of skull. But the Minnesota Vikings are going to take it home and win the game.
Mikey, do we have a win here, or will we be hearing Joe Buck talk about how bad this offense is in crisp ESPN 4K?
Wait, that's a road game on Monday Night Football?
Game. Monday Night Football.
28-12 Vikings.
Oh, Bears scored 12 points. Look at that. You get one of those toilet paper as one of our special gifts for scoring 12 points. And now we've got 3 more games. The Bears return home to the Soldier Field faithful as they'll be playing the Detroit Lions once again. I do not think this will be the same blowout that we saw on Thanksgiving, but the loss will still be there. I give them a 15% chance win. They will lose again as they will get swept by the Detroit Lions. Dante, what you got?
I think the Lions are taking this personal last year after, how close those games were. The Lions will smoke us at home. I think you should expect a lot of trick plays, the same way they did Dallas. I know our defense is good, but I think they've checked out. And by this point, they'll be getting their ass beat for the 5th week in a row. So they definitely going to check out.
5 in a row, Bane. Do we get 5 losses in a row?
I was thinking about picking the Bears at home, but something told me it was just my imagination once again running away with me. The Detroit Lions will win this game, but it will be closer than the first one.
Mikey, do they have any shot here at home?
Zach LaVine will be wearing the Detroit Pistons jersey before the Bears win again. Lions.
We've got 2 more games. We all love Christmas, and Christmas, the day after Christmas, Thursday Night Football is coming to put some coal in your stocking as Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks coming to town. I've got the Bears winning a 25% chance winning, and they will win with a Cairo Santos walk-off field goal. The Bears will beat the Seattle Seahawks to get their 6th win and their final win of the season. Dante, any hope for Christmas for the Bears?
Well, Scott Lewis, one of the worst gifts I've ever received was being a Chicago Bear fan. But I think on this Christmas, we are going to get a dub. Geno Smith, a.k.a. Geno Smith, Justin Fields from the future. He's going to have a mediocre game, and we're going to get a dub.
Bang, is there any actual gifts in their stocking, or is there more coal for the Bears?
I actually have the Bears winning this game right here.
All right, Mikey, can we make it 4 in a row? Do the Bears win?
This will not be a sleepless night in Chicago. The Bears will get their only win of the season against Seattle.
All right. I think we're going to all agree on this final game, so we're just going to say Packers will beat the Bears. There's no point of even putting a percentage here. The Packers will close up, and you will be in that hick state that definitely voted for Trump, yelling Green Bay, the Bears still suck. And that means I have them at 6 and 13. My math is off 6 and 11. 6 and 11 is what I've got. Dante, you got them at 5 and 12. Bang at 5 and 12, and Mikey at 5 and 12. So my last question: does Matt Flus get fired before any of these games? Yes or no? Or is he just going to get fired the next week on Black Monday?
Matt Flus will be fired after the Thanksgiving game.
All right.
I think Carl Williams is going to send out that tweet. He will be fired. I think we will see something for the first time in Bears history. They will not allow him to continue to put his hands on Caleb Williams.
There's no way in hell he's not fired after Thanksgiving. The way that Detroit is going to put hands on him, Detroit is going to put hands on the Bears like your good uncle's going to put hands on the drunken crackheaded uncle when he tried to ask his mom for money.
I was about to say something crazy again. Let me.
Can't be anything crazy than saying DeMar Hamlin came back at Sean Taylor. And that is Where is the Win here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You.
Have your pets spayed and neutered. Goodbye.
Thank you to our sponsors, Baba's on 95th Street. When we come back, we've got Courtney joining us for Overreaction Monday here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
That was one of the craziest segments in the history of the show. I hope y'all like my white guy voice. Courtney, I know you're watching us like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah, I was not locked in at all. And then I was
Mental health matters.
let me go get ready. Let me go see what they're up to. And then I walked into some fucking game show music. I'm like, wait, what is happening? These are sub 500 activities right here.
Hey, mental health matters, and right now our mental health is terrible because of the Bears.
I can't speak for anybody else. We're doing great over here.
I would like to jump off the State Street Lions right now. But anyway, Courtney, glad to have you. You can follow Courtney at 1-800-COLLAR-BRO on all social media platforms. Courtney, how was your birthday weekend? I'm pretty sure it was great considering what Alabama did on Saturday. Tell us how much fun did you have being at that game?
Roll damn Tide, baby. Listen, they told us we were done. I'm back in. We are so unbelievably back, baby. But no, a lot of people tried to warn me about, Baton Rouge and how intense the fans were and how mean they were going to be. I got to just say, by far, that is like the best college football game day experience I've ever had. I barely had reception. That's why y'all didn't really hear from me. And it was actually kind of nice because I got to just tap in and lock in with everybody. And people were so nice. We got invited to the best tailgates. I think I paid for maybe like 2 drinks total while I was in Baton Rouge. Just the nicest people, great food, great environment. And it obviously really helped to win, not just win, but put my feet up on their fucking couch. It was beautiful.
If there's anything nice I have to say about white people, it's not a lot. But one I have to say is they are amazing drinking buddies. Yeah. You will never have to pay for a drink if you're drinking with a white person. So, make some noise for white people who pay for drinks. But let's get into this week's edition of Overreaction Monday, where I name topics from this past week in the NFL or what's been going on. And, and we'll see if it's overreaction or not. I'm going to start off. I'm going to just name these stats. And we'll just go from here. This person 2 weeks ago had 171 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The week before that, he had 224 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And yesterday, he had 126 yards passing and 1 touchdown. The B in Bryce Young stands for back. Bryce Young is back. Overreaction or not an overreaction? I'm going to go to you, Mikey.
Overreaction. Anybody that plays the New York Giants is back. He did look good though, did look serviceable. But yeah, I'm not all the way sold on Bryce Young redemption story yet. Shout out to that running game though. And the running game will do wonders for him once they start incorporating Jonathan Brooks.
It's definitely an act of war sending them and the New York Giants to Germany. Courtney, do you think that Bryce Young is getting some momentum and he might be back?
I mean, listen, I feel like this is, we're going to talk a little bit more about it, as the show goes along, but isn't it nice to just keep in mind, they were going to let Andy Dalton keep starting, but did he get in like a car accident?
Yeah, he got in a car accident.
Yeah. Don't let the Panthers make you think that this was some great idea that they had. Okay, I'm really happy for Bryce Young, but isn't it nice when like you let your not rookie quarterback in this case, but like your second year quarterback get a chance to like sit down and take a breather. You don't just throw them into the fucking fire. What a concept. What a concept. I'm happy for him. Is he back? We'll see.
We'll see.
I see Bang just read my text.
Bang, is Bryce Young back? Oh no, I just saw that text. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say that.
Me and Mikey aren't laughing for the record because they have a separate chat from us. That's crazy.
We getting our monetization taken.
This is how I just found out I'm outside the circle. That's fucking crazy.
I had to sit there.
I'm with you, Courtney. I'm with you, Courtney. I'm not in that one either. That was an old school joke.
Yeah, wow, Mikey.
To be fair, Dante and Bang have other duties in barbershare that have to get straight to them. This is not a breakup of the team. That is it. Bang, and you are on mute, and we can't hear a word you saying.
Oh, that's my bad. But no, out of respect, you couldn't have read that one. That was Joe. Boy, if you would have, man. No, Bryce Young is not back. I tried to hold that. Bryce Young is not back. He's nowhere near back. There's still questions about where he's at and where that team is at. So no, he looks good though. But no, he's not back. And I'm glad that you didn't say that because I thought I said some wild shit.
Yeah, monetization would 100% been taken away. Dante, is Bryce Young back?
Well, as somebody who has picked the Carolina Panthers 2 weeks in a row, shout out to all my short kings out there. Bryce Young is back.
Yeah, Bryce Young is back. Shout out to the Untall.
Shout out to the Untall. We are back in the building.
We back in the building. We back. Shout out to Kevin Hart, our president, holding down the delegation. But Courtney, you actually bring up a good point that leads me to my next overreaction. You talked about sitting young quarterbacks. I know Adam Schefter said it on Pat McAfee today. I know Matt Eberflus denied it. But should Caleb Williams sit for the rest of the year to get him out of harm's way so he don't pick up any more bad habits or get killed? Overreaction. Caleb Williams should sit for the rest of the year, and the Tyson Bagent show just pick off. Courtney, overreaction or not overreaction?
Listen, the Chicago Bears make a lot of dumb decisions. This would probably be one of the dumbest things because what you're signaling to Caleb Williams is that you have no faith in him to go out and be at least serviceable and do his job. I understand you don't want him to get hurt because the offensive line sucks. But if you're going to make any changes right now to this team, it doesn't need to be the change at the quarterback position. It needs to be with that fucking terrible offensive coordinator and that lame duck ass head coach, Finn.
We're going to move on to the next one because me, Bang, and Mikey and Dante kind of talked about this already in the local hour. But Washington Commanders, the Commandos, I like to call them. Well, I got that from Bomani Jones, but it just sounded funny. So I'm keep calling them Commandos. They lost at home last night, 28-7, to Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson, as he led a game-winning drive. And then they went off sides on 4th and 1. Got the loss. They now move to number 2 in the NFC East. Overreaction. The Commanders blew that shot to win the division, and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are finna run away with this one. Mikey, overreaction or not overreaction?
Nah, no overreaction for me. I still look at their schedule. I still see 4 winnable games. The Eagles still got to go through Commanders, Ravens, and I had it pulled up, but they do have a tough schedule. Oh, they still got the Steelers, so that's a common opponent there. Those are tough defenses, high-octane offenses. I think the winner of this division is just going to need 11 wins. It's going to come down to their head-to-head matchup, in their 2 division games. So shout out to Amazon Prime. We're going to have a good matchup this Thursday. That'll be the first of their remaining 2 games against one another. But I think the Commanders are still very much in it.
Courtney, do you think that this is still a 2-team race, or do you think that the Commanders really blew a shot to get a hold of this thing?
Listen, I said at the beginning of the season that I didn't have too much faith in this team, and they've already exceeded my expectations. I don't think they're out of it by any means. I think that their path, like Mikey was saying, their path the rest of the way is a little bit easier, and they do have a bye week kind of late in the season too. So that'll be a nice little reset before the last, I think, 3 or 4 games that they have left. I think it's 3, but yeah, I don't think it's over. The Eagles gotta go through the gauntlet this rest of the season. So I'm still in. I'm still in, baby.
Bang, is it over for the Commandos? I know that you talked to a lot of your DC people. Did they blow their shot to an NFC East yesterday?
I wish it was over, but it ain't. No, I wish it was over. But I think that not only is this team very much still in it, the resiliency that they had used in that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hey, bring me something to drink, man. Dante got me pause. Got me messed up right now. But no, they showed resiliency in that game, and quite honestly, they probably should have won that game. So no, I don't think they're out of it by any stretch of imagination.
Dante, do you think that the Commanders still got a shot, or is the Eagles, just finna use their veteran presence and take the division from them?
It's funny because you're like, if you talk to Eagles fans and you look at the way people talk about the Eagles, you would think like the world is burning.
Yeah,
like
they hate them niggas.
So I think it's over with. I think that's not a bad thing though, because you've seen that Jaden Daniels is one of them ones. Like he's solid. They have something great to build on in DC. So I think it's over in terms of winning the NFC East. But wild card is not out of the question, and you definitely know for certain that you got a quarterback.
Oh man, let's go on to the other team who won the game, Pittsburgh Steelers. Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited. Since he's been back in the lineup these last 3 games, he has thrown for 737 yards. He's got 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. He threw a great pass to George Pickens yesterday. They're now number 1 in the AFC North. Been there for a minute. I'm really looking forward to that AFC North Hard Knocks that kicks off next month. Are the Steelers legit contenders, or do we still got to see a little bit more? Courtney, overreaction or not, the Steelers are contenders.
Man, first off, the only reason why we're even, and listen, this is not to discredit the Steelers, but the only reason why we're even talking about them like this is because there's so many bad teams in this, not even in the conference, in the entire NFL right now. I think there's like 8 NFC teams that are below 500, 9 AFC teams that are below 500. Like there's a lot of bad teams. So it's really easy to pick out the ones that are just barely above. And I'm still not a believer. But I mean, I'm proud of them, I guess. Good for Mike Tomlin. Good for Mike Tomlin.
Good for Mike Tomlin. Good for Mike Tomlin. Mikey, do you think the Steelers are contenders, or we still gotta wait to see them play tougher opponents?
No, I think 100% they're contenders. Just because that defense travels. We gotta wait to see what the injury report says on Highsmith. Their other star pass rusher opposite of JJ Watt. Is it JJ? No, not JJ Watt. The other fucking Watt. Yeah, TJ Watt. JJ, TJ. Get some real fucking names. But I thought you saw yesterday, they complemented their defense with an offense that could go on the road and put up points with a team that is known for putting up points. Russell Wilson has added a passing game, component to this offense that has been missing since Big Ben has been gone. So I think they definitely are contenders because they're probably going to get in one of those wild card spots, if not the division, because we know the Ravens can tweak. And anytime you can take that defense on the road, as long as TJ's healthy, they're going to be tough to beat.
Bang, man. We all know we're all fans of Mike Tomlin, man. I think he's been coaching a hell of a season. Do you think the Steelers are contenders right now?
Yes, I do believe that the Steelers are contenders because of him. This team, I love it when a team takes on the personality of their coach. And this team has always done that. But for this year, they just been a bit more scrappy than usual. And then plus, when you think about what they had done with Justin Fields as the quarterback, and now you're getting a well-rested and healthy Russell Wilson And that ball he threw to not only to Mike Williams, that ball was a pretty ball to win the game. Pause. So with that being said, that showed me that they are in it, and with that defense, all you need is a quarterback to play halfway good, and Russell is playing way better than that. So no, I can see this team going far in the playoffs.
Dante, I'm pretty sure you're not shocked about the Steelers record. I do believe you thought it was going to be Justin Fields leading here, and not Russell Wilson. Are you on the bandwagon? I'm saying they are contenders in the AFC.
Contenders in terms of the playoffs, absolutely. And I think I owe Russell Wilson an apology because I thought it was over with. But Russ has been poised. He's, not turned the ball over. He's done really well for Pittsburgh. And I think with that defense, I know they've had some injuries on both sides of the ball, but I think they are definitely going to contend for the playoffs. And you're right. I did expect it to be Justin. I know a lot of people have tried to say, well, Justin's on the bench. It's like he wasn't playing like shit. Like, come on now. But at the same time, Russell Wilson has played a lot better than I think a lot of us anticipated. And I think with that being said, the Pittsburgh Steelers will definitely contend. And I think Mike Tomlin will definitely notch another 10-win season.
Speaking of contenders and speaking of winning championships, we got to talk about the two-time defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Bo Nix came down, walked them boys down, looked like he had the dub. He was going to beat them. The Broncos ain't beat them in about 9 years. Get a dub at Arrowhead Stadium and snap that 8-0 start to the season. But that did not happen. Why? Because Patrick Mahomes is one of Satan's greatest soldiers. That's why. They blocked the field goal, and they ended up winning 16-14, and the Chiefs are 9-0. Everybody used to love the Chiefs, watching Pat since the day he got in this league. Andy Reid is always a likable guy. Travis Kelce's likable for a while. My question to y'all, is an overreaction to say the Chiefs are officially annoying. Mikey, are they annoying to you?
Nah, I never get annoyed by good teams that always find ways to win, especially teams that are not in the division that, the team that I root for, a conference that I root for, but they're just finding a way. I've been saying it all season. They are not playing well. Mahomes is not putting up Mahomes numbers. They just don't look how it should look for a team to be undefeated, but they find a way, and that's just that championship resolve. But they're playing with fire, and one of these days is going to catch up to them. So they need to get healthy. They need to get right, because if not, they can easily, get caught slipping, if they continue to play this way in January.
Bang, you always said that you said that the Chiefs needed something. I don't know if it was a scandal or something for this year because it's the three-peat year. Are they officially the hate watch team? Do you think they are officially annoying now?
They was annoying to me last year. Now I just feel like God loves the Kansas City Chiefs. When we was picking the teams last week, I wanted to pick the Denver Broncos for the reasons you saw in that game. But the fact that they won off of a block punt, yeah, bruh. I don't know how you could be annoying. If anything, they're anointed. That's the only thing that I could. They're anointed. How is this team undefeated, fam? They are undefeated by the grace of God. So no, you can be if you're tired of seeing people win, but the fact that they're struggling and winning makes it not annoying. Now, if they was blowing teams out, then I'd be like, man, now I'm a hater. But no.
Dante, are the Chiefs annoying to you?
No, they're not annoying. It's Pat being Pat, bro. He's really good. I think, I still think, we jumped the gun with the greatest of all time talk. I think he's on that trajectory, but we still got to let it play out. But right now, this is what it looks like going to be another amazing chapter in the story. So they can run the table. We'll see. But I don't think annoying is the way to call it. They're winning games.
Orlando said, when will God love us? Asking the Bears. Never. We're never going to be happy. Embrace it. We're all going to die unhappy as Bears fans. I got one last overreaction that has nothing to do with football. We just finished up with the worst holiday of the year, which is Halloween. Is it too early to put up your Christmas tree right now? Overreaction.
Wait,
fine to have a
what
Christmas
did Halloween
tree.
do to you?
Halloween is terrible. If you lived in Los Angeles and been around Halloween, you would hate Halloween too.
And y'all make sure y'all gif Courtney's face when you said that shit, because Courtney was like,
Courtney was like, what's going on?
What
Who
just happened?
hates candy and fucking putting on a costume?
Candy corn is terrible though. So.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate it. I
Who
hated
hates
Halloween
candy corn?
because growing up in church, we had to have them weak ass hallelujah parties.
A hallelujah party.
And it's like, nigga, I'm trying to dress like Spider-Man. Y'all got me dressed like John the Baptist in this bitch. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, what are you talking about? It's not fun. Like,
You gonna dress up like Matthew?
nigga, you Moses. Get this staff. Like, what?
Talk about you want to be Venom. You gonna be Moses. And the venom of God. That's what you gonna get.
That works, bro.
But overreaction. Is it too early to have your Christmas tree up? I don't think it is.
Yes. We have to let Thanksgiving have its moment. What is the
really
rush? We're gonna hear the same fucking 12 songs on a loop. We might as well just shorten the window a little bit. Retailers, y'all will still make your money, but we gotta let the holidays breathe a little bit.
Not even. As soon as I hear that in my mind, I said, "Oh yeah, it's time." It's time.
As soon as November 1st came, I tweeted that meme of Dave Chappelle with the Santa Claus blocking Halloween out. It's Christmas time, nigga.
Hey.
Stop playing the Death Row Christmas album, West Side Connection holidays. Play Friday after next. Put the tree up. You can have Thanksgiving dinner.
R.P. Nate
Put the
Dogg,
tree
man.
up. R.P.
Yeah, I
Nate
work in
Dogg.
radio, so they can hold off on playing all of that shit as long as they can. But like Scott said, when you hear "In My Mind" or the Emotions, "What Do the Lonely Do at Christmas," which is a very underrated Christmas track.
Very
ladies and
underrated
gentlemen.
Christmas joint.
Like you can play "What Do the Lonely Do at Christmas" on and any time of the year. But yeah, hell yeah, it's too early, and I got kids. Fuck, you think I'm about to put a Christmas tree up right now? Motherfuckers be circling around the tree and shit. Where the Crips at? No, I'm straight, bro.
And I ain't gonna lie. Speaking of Christmas songs, like I worked at Jules, bro. When I tell you, when I hear "All I Want for Christmas Is You," I want to slip my fucking wrist.
I ain't gonna lie. I worked the Jewel too. That joint came on every hour.
So much about
This
y'all,
song
but I
came
do
out.
not like
This song came on every hour on the hour for your
Every hour
entire
on the
10-hour
hour.
shift.
I'm not mad at
It's a great song.
at that song. I'm not mad at that song. I hate that "Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas." I hate that song. Oh no.
What is happening?
I hate that song. That bow wow wow wow.
No, some of them
Bow
songs
wow
pass.
wow wow wow.
Give me that
man.
Motown Christmas on repeat.
Mike,
The war on Christmas is real. This is crazy.
I love Christmas. I just hate that specific song.
You said it like you called it Xmas or some shit. Like it's still Christmas, you know.
He's like, Mikey, it's too early for you.
I got no room to speak. My girl is currently putting up the Christmas tree right now.
I was just about to say you Puerto Rican, nigga.
We 11. But yeah, no, and the Christmas tree for us, that shit stays up until after 3 Kings Day in January. So it is gonna be up for the next 3 months.
The next football.
You know what we called over there?
What?
We called the Black History Month tree because it's still gonna be up in February.
Wait a minute. I feel very worldly right now. I feel like I just missed a holiday that I ain't know about. What is 3 Kings Day?
So 3 Kings Day, it's
celebrate Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, and Rick Ross. That's 3 Kings Day.
Nah, three Kings Day is a Puerto Rican holiday. It's kind of like when the three kings come and they put, gifts kind of like I don't know how to say it, but like so like we exchange gifts on that shit too. It's a Puerto Rican holiday. It's not the Beach and Spalding holiday. It's still religious, but yeah.
So y'all double up, man. I wish I was Puerto Rican.
I'm about to say, Mike, do you go for Christmas Eve, G?
Oh yeah. We celebrate Christmas Eve. Like so, Christmas Eve is like the big thing. That's when all the parties are. I'll probably be going to Puerto Rico again this year for Christmas. So we do like a parranda. That's where everybody in the neighborhood, it depends what part of the island you're in. You either jump in your cars or you go on feet and there's like 200 people deep and you playing music and you going to people's houses and just standing out front singing. So
is it too late to bless? Is it too late to bless me?
Puerto Rico's forever. Puerto Rico's forever.
I ain't tell y'all, bro. I'm 27% Puerto Rican on the low. Like,
all right, man. All right.
My best friend been Puerto Rican since I was 14. I ain't trying to hear.
Oh man,
bro.
bless me in, fam. Bless me in. Let me go to Humboldt Park and be cool. Bless me in.
When Mikey said I said, hey, boy, that's my shit.
We gotta get you a Happy Bias jersey.
Yeah, since the Mexicans got caught off last week, now y'all finally gonna give me some respect.
Hey,
I don't want no smoke.
hey.
I'm too close to Marquette Park. I don't want no smoke. Yes, I am. I don't want no smoke anyway. But that's all we got for this portion. We're about to bring Pavy in just a moment. Courtney, Mikey, anything y'all want to say before we get y'all up out of here?
Roll Tide. That's all I got.
Roll Tide.
Only thing I gotta say is I have been watching some NBA. Definitely that Celtics Warriors game last week. But it sucks that we're seeing a lot of injuries so early, especially the Chet Holmgren injury.
Yeah.
Also, wait, not having watched a lick of basketball. Cream City's bad. That's disappointing.
That's it.
Oh, their ass. I gotta hit the chat on that one. You know, that's my squad where I got the insider info.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I want to hear what's going on with what Trump said. I'm more Greek than him. That guy's kind of good, but I'm more Greek than him.
It starts and it ends with him.
All right, man. So y'all can follow Courtney at 1-800-CALLER BRO on all social media platforms. Follow Mikey at Junior_Solito. They'll be back on Friday. We'll take one last break. Pavy's gonna be back. We're gonna talk a little bit of basketball. Then we're gonna close out with Larry Legend with Respect the Culture to wrap up the show. We'll be right back.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, I hate is old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to I'm not gonna hold you, man. We are here in hour two. Which actually funny, kind of towards the end of hour two. Niggas definitely went over, but whatever. We are here for another edition of Weekend in the Association. As you can see right up on the screen, we meet up with Pat Vito, one half of Hoops and Brews, one of the co-founders of this amazing channel that we on right now, man. Of course, you can follow him at Pavy World on all social media platforms, man. Pav, what's going on, brother?
Chilling, bro. I can't complain. How y'all?
Doing quite good. Outside of the fact that the Bears lost yesterday, but we're not gonna let that ruin the vibes. But anyway, let's get into it. Talk about a little bit of NBA, man. I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Coach Bud. This is a new job. They've actually been playing pretty good so far early in this early season. I feel Kevin Durant is reminding y'all just exactly who he is. And they're playing much more, I guess you would say, complete team basketball than I expected. If you look at the standings, probably not extremely early to look at the standings, but if the playoffs start there, they will be the number one seed in the NBA at 8-2. Man, Pat, tell me what you've seen from the Phoenix Suns. Do you like what you've seen from KD? And do you think it's something that's sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I think that this can continue. I mean, if we look at them last year, I think when you made the trade, when they made the trade, I think people just automatically had like championship expectations, but sometimes it takes a while. I mean, even look at, Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland, like it took a couple years to see what you're seeing now. And again, they still won 49 games last year with personnel not really being where it should have, and Bradley Beal missing half the season basically. They still won 49 games. I know that the way they went out in the first round when they lost to Minnesota was kind of jarring, but again, they still did win 49 games. So yeah, I think that this can continue. I mean, KD's look good. I mean, unfortunately, he got a calf strain, and I was watching the game yesterday. Bradley Beal kind of like hyperextended his knee. So hopefully, those guys won't have any lingering effects from those injuries. But yeah, Tyus Jones, like they picked up point guard play, which is what they needed. Last year they were running, try to do Booker and Beal at point, and that's just, or having KD do it, and I just didn't like that. So that, to me, they're a much more complete team. And again, you've seen Coach Bud's work. I mean, obviously he's won a championship with Milwaukee, comes from the Spurs system, even those Hawks teams back in the day that nobody really believed in, but they still did win 60 games. Now again, I'm not a person that I think the Suns gonna win a championship this year, but yes, I do think that they can win 55 games, 55, maybe I'm not gonna say 60, but definitely get to about like 55 games to be a top 3 seed and have home court in the first round.
So with that, like I kind of feel like when you put these little big three teams together, I always feel like there's like a shelf life on them. So you said as far as like you don't see them as like a contender as far as to actually win the championship. Do you think there's any deal out there that they could potentially make when we get closer to January and February when trades are made to be able to make this a legit contender? Because KD ain't got that much longer. Not to say I think he cares, but contrary to pop belief, I think KD's very content with his career. Do you think there's any move they can make to make this team a legit championship contender to try to compete with Boston?
I think they're a second apron team, so I don't think so, because like once you like spend so much money with the new rules, it's very hard to like make trades. But I don't think they need to make trades. Like the rookie they have done, he looks great. Again, you have Tyus Jones, you have Monty Morris, you have Grayson Allen. Even like your center position is better than what it was last year because you have Plumlee backing up Nurk. So I don't think that they need to make trades. And also I think just making trades in general is going to probably be a little bit hard for them. And I mean, where would you really want to improve at? I guess you maybe want, like, maybe if you could get like a Robert Williams over there, but I don't know how you would even do that again with the salaries and with the. I'm not sure if they're if they are a second apron team, but I think they are. Just judging out the fact you have KD, Booker, and Beal there, that's a lot of money. So I don't really think so, but and I'm kind of iffy about what you would even add. Like I know there's certain guys out there, like again, PJ Tucker. Do you really want PJ Tucker? Like what is PJ Tucker?
I don't even know if PJ Tucker does anything anymore.
Like, yeah, like do you really want PJ Tucker on your basketball team? I mean, there's like Dennis Schroeder and like the guys that's on the Nets, but and also they don't really have assets. They traded them all when they got Kevin Durant. They don't have picks. They barely have second round picks. So, like, what are you even going to give to somebody else? I think that's the other thing that people don't realize about trades is the other team actually has to accept the trade and want something that you have. They don't really have much to give. So, I don't think so.
That's also something that Laker fans don't know about. Laker fans don't know how trades, man. They just go on trade machine. This one works. Let's go to a team that had the same record as them, 8-2, Oklahoma City Thunder. They finished number 1 in the Western Conference last year. They had a good start to the season. They're going through some troubles now in their front court. Of course, Isaiah Hartenstein. Shout out to that Black King. Isaiah Hartenstein has been out so far to start the season. Who they got from New York? He's not back yet. But they've got their superstar, Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren got hurt the other night with a pelvic fracture after a hard fall, and he is going to be out the next 8 to 10 weeks before they reevaluate. So it's not even 100% sure he's going to come back in 8 to 10 weeks. They're going to reevaluate in 8 to 10 weeks. They're going to have to really, really play small right now. Granted, it's early in the season. If you want any kind of injury like this to happen, you might as well have it happen right now. How concerned are you about this Chet injury, and do you think it's going to can they stay afloat with not only just Chet, but still not having Isaiah Hartenstein in a very, very small front court now?
I mean, it hurts, and like I'm even more concerned for Chet, like long term. I mean, being honest, he's a tall. Like I'm not gonna say frail guy, but he's a tall, slender guy. If you look at it, the past 2 years, I mean, he missed his first year with the Liz Frank injury, and now you break your hip. Like you didn't just break an arm, you didn't break a finger, you broke your hip, bro. Like when regular people break their hip, it's really, really bad. So, like, you know what I'm saying? You have a hip injury. And, yeah, like, I'm definitely concerned because Chet was having a great season. Like, I know everybody loves Wemby, but Chet had, in my personal opinion, been playing better than Wemby so far this season. And he was probably having a all-star year. So I like what Chet was doing. And, yes, I do think it hurts a lot because, again, you are going to have to play really, really small, meaning your perimeter defense better be immaculate. Because if anybody gets to the rim right now, bro, you have no rim protection until Hart comes back. You have nothing down there. I think because I watched the game yesterday when they were playing the Warriors, bro. If anybody missed any rotation on like a cut, it was an easy lay. And I was like, damn, where's Chet at? Because I didn't see Chet get hurt. I didn't see Chet get hurt until after the game because I tuned in late because I was watching football. So yeah, I'm really, really concerned about them. Again, I don't think it'll tank their season, but definitely. And again, even when Chet comes back, how is he gonna look? Like how mobile is he gonna be?
Take a while.
He broke his hip, bro. Like how mobile is he like gonna be? So yes, I definitely think it hurts. They're not winning a championship without him. But at the same time, I saw like somebody said Vooch is there for the taking. Like, yes, they have so many assets where like if they want to go out there and make a trade, they can put together some of those picks, maybe put together one of those young players and get something this season if they need it. Now, that is a team that I actually think can make a move, and there will be people that will want to trade with them because of the assets that they have. And again, they can't use all these picks. It just really doesn't make actual sense for them to use all these picks. So, yes, I think it hurts for sure, but I'm not gonna like write the season off for them because of the Chet injury.
Now, there's another young star who he's been in the league 5 years now. Don't even feel like because he ain't played most of it. Got hurt again. Mr. Zion Williamson, another hamstring injury. He's going to be reevaluated. I think they said 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. Another setback. Is it officially time to say that this dude might be the biggest what if in NBA history? Because it kind of feels like he's never really even going to be able to take off. Because you can say something like Derrick Rose. At least Derrick had 3 years he was playing and won an MVP, won a Rookie of the Year. Like, I feel like Zion, he gets 10 to 15 games under his belt and he gets hurt again. What do you think about Zion's injury and just long term for his career?
I mean, we can pull up the things when he got drafted. I said I would take Ja Morant over Zion, and the reason I said it, and again, the reason I said it was because, bro, everybody was like, "Oh, he's 260 jumping out the gym." I'm like, so you mean this man gonna be 280 jumping like that and playing 10 years? I just didn't see it. I don't think he has the body type to be able to play in the NBA. Like, I looked up a thing, where it came across my timeline yesterday of like the amount of miles that players run per game. Well, not per game, but per season. I think they run 10,000 miles now per season. Because of the fact, like, you know, with the defense, like you closing out from 30 feet, then you running back over there. Like, I don't think his body is just built for the rigors of the new NBA season. And I won't say biggest what if ever, but because again, when he is on the court, he is good. This season was a little bit concerning though, which is one thing that people didn't realize was his shooting percentage when he's healthy is usually around like 60. It was at like 45 this season. And for him, because he only taking shots in the paint, that's a little bit alarming. That was a little bit alarming. So I won't say biggest what if ever, but I definitely think, at least in recent times, it's kind of a tragic story because, again, you never really, I guess, got to see Zion. You never really get to see Zion in his full glory and in his full potential. And then for like New Orleans, I mean, that's a team where it's like you don't even know which way to go. Right, because like I don't think you can build a winner around Brandon Ingram, but like it's hard to. But you can't build around Zion because he's never there, and like it's New Orleans. You need people to fill the stands, so I think the organization is just really in like a really really tough spot. I even saw something today where they giving tickets away for $67 lower level seats because ain't nobody playing.
They giving away tickets to Bojangles.
Yeah, so because anybody playing. So yes, I mean the Zion thing is unfortunate. Again, it said 4 to 6 weeks, but every time Zion get hurt, you might not see him again until next season. And again, it's another lower extremity injury. You already know the man puts on weight, so he can't, like his rehab process, he can't lose weight. He might be 300 pounds in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
So it's just unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, man. I want to talk about something that Brian Windhorst said in an article a couple of days ago, talking about the NBA's viewership and how it's declining at a historic rate. It's gone down each week. Now we know we live in the NFL world. NFL's king of the ratings, everything like that. And I don't know if ratings are that big of a deal anymore because of the way people watch TV. But Pab, and I'm gonna bring Bang in for this question too, because I feel like there's multiple ways we can look at this. Windhorst blamed the media and the way they cover it. I do think that the way the media covers it is a part of it. I feel like when you look at the MLB or NFL, the media, I'll say if there's not to say that they don't focus on off the field stuff because they do, but I do feel like there's more conversation about what's actually going on the field with the MLB and the NFL compared to the NBA, where NBA is kind of like gossip, or who's going to sign next year instead of the actual play that's going on. I think that's a small factor of it, though. I think the main reason for viewership is just a bad product right now. I think the 3 points, people being in love with 3-pointer is part of it. I don't 100% know what's the other part, but I know anytime I try to watch a game, it's very hard. It's blowouts every night. Even these past playoffs, these playoffs weren't good. There's a lot of blowouts in these playoffs and even in NBA finals. Pav, what do you think is the reason for the declining viewership that we see each year, especially this year? And is it fixable?
I think this year is I think that's a little bit overstated currently as we stand right now. I think if it's in February and we still saying the same thing about the ratings, cool. There's a lot of sports on right now, bro. Like a lot. That was the World Series, and it wasn't just any World Series. It was Yankees Dodgers. I'm probably not gonna watch an early regular season NBA game over Yankees Dodgers. I'm just probably not gonna do that, right? So there's like a lot of sports on. Also, I think the way you consume the NBA is a little bit different than the way you consume other sports because it is so highlight based, right? So, you know, like you can watch 1 minute recap and feel like you watched the whole game. I don't think you can really do that with NFL. And also, they play like 4 or 5 times a week. NFL is more. I will say the NFL does a better job of making the important games seem like events. I don't think the NBA does that, right? Like Celtics Warriors this week, they were both 8-1. They put it on at 4:30, but it was just like whatever, it's on at 4:30. You got to make that an event. Like you have to do, and I'm with him because he also, I think somebody had said this. I saw it on the internet. Where like, you know, when you had like Bob Costas there and you had the, you know, the NBA on NBC there, even the prelude to the game just felt like, yo, we have to watch this. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think they, even with the playoffs, they don't even do it with the playoffs. Like the playoffs don't even feel like as much of an event as what they once were. So I think it's a combination of things, right? I think the way you consume the game is different, especially with kids, because you can't get the kids to sit down and watch a full game. It's impossible. You can get them to watch a highlight.
You can't even get them to watch a full highlight day. They ain't watching 9 minutes of a full game highlight.
You can't even get them to watch the full condensed game.
Yeah.
And so you really can only get, which is why I like people like LaMelo Ball, right? I know people say, oh, LaMelo's having a season. Bro, he averaging like 5 turnovers. But 5.
Nobody cares. They look at highlights.
The highlights look incredible. So I think like I said, I think the way you consume the game is just different than you do the other sports. And I think the other sports also do a much better job of making the big games feel like events. And I think right now, like I said, it's a little bit overstated because there are a lot of sports on right now, yo, like a lot of them. So yeah.
Bang, I know you've always said about the presentation of the NBA, like Pav just said, with the Bob Costas, with the Ahmad Rashads, the Willow Bays, even just more recently. I think that somebody who does a great job of it is Mike Breen. I think that the situation that ESPN and ABC has put him in is crazy. Like, say whatever you want to say about Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. I just feel like they worked. They have not found a perfect replacement for that. You know, you had JJ Redick there for a little bit, and he decided to become a head coach.
I like Tim Legler.
Tim Legler's good, but even Legler won't be that big because Legler said he only works at nights so he can be with his kids. So you're never going to get Legler full time. But I think he's going to take less for Rogue. I think Legler is with All City. He's with All City right now, so he does a lot of stuff with them. Bane, what do you think is the main reason for this viewership decline? Is it strictly the media, or is there more to it?
No, there's more to it. But first, Pav is 100% right about the presentation of the game. I said when the NBA left NBC for ABC, ESPN, that this was going to happen. Mainly because ESPN does not do a good job at making the big events feel like big events. Partly because they know people are going to come because they're the worldwide leader. NBC, on the other hand, is the home of must-see TV. They made every game that they got on the weekend must-see TV. I remember when I was a shorty, we made sure we got all of our basketball games in before the Bulls game or whatever game came on NBA on NBC. That's how much they made it important. The monologue that Bob Costas did, along with the intro to the game, and then you got the game and Marv Albert and Matt Gukas, or even Marv Albert and Magic Johnson shit. But they made the game, no matter what game it was, feel like it was important. When you look at NBA on TV, when you look at the NBA on TNT, to be honest, it sucks that we're losing basketball there mainly because of Inside the NBA. Not because of Kevin Harlan, even though to me, Kevin Harlan is the best announcer in basketball right now. Kevin Harlan makes every game that comes on.
He ain't bad at football yesterday. His call of the blocked field goal in Kansas City last night was crazy.
It was crazy. He's the best. Yeah, he's
the Chiefs won again.
Yeah, Kevin Harlan to me is the best. Period. But TNT inside the NBA overshadows the product. I don't even have to watch the game, and I'll watch inside the NBA. So I think one, they have a product presentation. Then the NBA on TV, the NBA TV is the worst out of the sports television networks. They're the worst by far. They have such a library that they don't use. Whoever is the director of content at NBA TV needs to be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, that's a job I want. I got mad ideas. You need to have documentaries for, like, one thing. Remember what NFL used to do? Remember how they had it? How they have America's Game where they sponsor they do the champions. They also had one series. They stopped doing it. It was called Missing Rings. Yes. Where they would bring up great teams who didn't win a championship. There's so many great NBA teams who didn't win championships. Well, you could do that for.
I watched. Go ahead, Pat.
But like all the best NBA content is on YouTube. Literally, you can log on YouTube. Like they got this is one thing they have forgotten players. Like there's so many things that you could do. Like again, like we are in a full as like a culture 2000s nostalgia. You know how much you could do with that,
Pav. I didn't know that old girl that Jaylen Brown is with. I did not know not only her dad played in the NBA, but her dad was a part of the Phoenix Suns when the Phoenix Suns was about to get arrested for drugs, man, like for trafficking and shit. And I saw that on YouTube. I saw on Instagram yesterday on Isaiah Thomas's Instagram him talking about Mark Price and how Mark Price was doing shit that we applaud in the NBA right now. 50, 40, 90, splitting the defense and popping up at the three. Like, I watched that. And, I mean, honestly, the last good thing that NBA TV did is putting Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas in front of each other. That's the best thing that they did.
So many names from that.
Yeah, so when you have the NFL Network putting out the content that they put out, even MLB TV putting out the content that they put out, and NHL's content is improving, NBA TV is lagging behind, and that's what you need. NBA used to do a great job at this. Let me just say this. The NBA with David Stern used to do an amazing job at this. The NBA is fantastic. All of the DVDs and the tapes that they had, Come Fly With Me, even like no matter who you were, they had a documentary for the team. The reason why I became a Seattle Sonics fan was not just because of what I saw on the court, but I end up renting and watching a tape of them talking about the Seattle Supersonics, and I fell in love with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp through that. So they even have all of that can be replayed, or maybe they can't be replayed because of music licensing. I don't know. But you have all of those documentaries that you can reshare. I think that idea around the forgotten teams or the teams that didn't get a ring is all good, because you have people that only care about Michael Jordan, or they only care about LeBron James. I had an argument one time with a kid a couple of years ago that tried to shit on the Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day, but then shouts out to my man Ernie Scatton. Me and Ernie had an argument about some of the best teams that didn't win a ring. And he was saying how the Cleveland Cavaliers probably should have been the Chicago Bulls if it wasn't for Michael Jordan. In fact, I hate when people say Michael Jordan didn't win in the first round because of X, Y, and Z. Fam, those Milwaukee Bucks teams
were great.
Were great teams, and people don't talk about them because of the Boston Celtics. But yet, you look at NBA TV, and you're about to see a dope ass documentary with around the Celtics. In fact, I'll say it like this: if me or Scott can't get the job, the person who probably should run content for the NBA is Bill Simmons. Because Bill Simmons kills it 100%. But the other part of it is, and I think it's a very important part of this too, because we went through this when Michael Jordan left. When the players that you grew up with are starting to fade away, you start to move away from the product. All of the players that I grew up around, along with the Michael Jordan group, are all moving away. I don't know really about Chet Holmgren. I don't know really about Zion Williamson other than him getting hurt all the time. There's a lot shot Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Like there's some players that I know their game, but I don't know them.
But that's why I think too.
Real quick, let me finish. Let me just finish this because I think this is the important part.
Yeah.
The great thing about the NBA back in the day is that you felt like you knew all of those players. You felt like we had the argument about Vince Carter last week. We felt like we knew Vince. We felt like we knew Allen Iverson. We felt like we knew Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Scottie Pippen. We felt like we knew Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry. We felt like we knew all of these people. We don't really identify or know some of these stars that's coming up. And that's why the NBA, NBA TV, NBA Entertainment, all of these entities within that has to do a better job. And the players have to do a better job at that too. Because right now, we see a lot of players that we really don't know and identify with. And if it's one thing about the NBA, which got them in this position, is the NFL is king because no matter who's on the team, you support the team. The NBA is one of the few sports that celebrate the player. So if you're celebrating the player and you're always celebrating the player, then when you don't know the player, who the fuck is you celebrating?
Yeah. I just want to say, Twitter gotta get they shit together, bro. They didn't cut off my stream about 2 times these last couple of days. I was like, why we lose 200 viewers that quickly? Because Elon don't be knowing what he's doing. But I just want to say this quickly on the viewership thing. Have y'all seen Starting Five on Netflix? Like to me, that is like the stuff that the NBA needs to be making. It's basically what Peyton Manning did the quarterback show a couple years ago, and he did wide receiver this year. Where they take 5 players and they go through the whole season with them documentary wise. And they did it this year for the NBA based off last year's season with Jason Tatum, LeBron, Anthony Edwards, Sabonis, and Jimmy Butler, which is really, really good and got you to know these players. And I feel that as much stuff LeBron does, it feels manufactured. This didn't feel manufactured. Like you really got to see that side of LeBron. I didn't know Jimmy Butler had kids, so I saw this. And then yeah,
I was like, where that come from?
I had no idea they had that. So, like to me, they need to take exactly what they did and kind of go off what they need to do for that for what they do for their own content. And now they're gonna be doing season 2 next year for Starting Five. They're gonna be following, and they're recording it right now. It's based on this season. They're gonna be following Kevin Durant, Jaylen Brown, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Halliburton, and James Harden. That's a good cast right there. So the NBA needs more type of stuff for me to kind of get them engaged because they got a lot of great talent. You usually get to know more about this talent. Final question, Pav, then we're gonna get you up out of here. This is a very quick one. Tomorrow's night 2. Well, day 1, night 1 of the second year of the in-season tournament. Do we care? Do you care?
No, but I do think the in-season tournament has potential over time. Like I think if you see a team like win the NBA Cup, had the best record in the league, and win a title, I think it can become a thing if it lasts longer. So do I care? No, but I mean, I guess it's a cool little thing. Yeah, but like, do I care? Not really. I hope they don't do the thing with the court though. Again, that was like a little bit much.
Too bad. They already didn't debut the court.
Yeah, they doing that.
Loud, it's nasty. It don't look good. Hey man, I would love to cover the in-season championship game. Just have an excuse to go to Vegas. Besides that, I do not care. Pav, man, always good to have you on, man. Let them know where they can get in tune with you and anything you got going. I know you've been doing the daily text thing on HMB.
Yeah. As always, man, y'all can follow me on Twitter at Pavy, world all one word. Go to pavverse.com if y'all want to hear some music. Keep streaming everything. More stuff is on the way. And I do Pavy's daily takes. I try to do them every day. It may not be every day, but I try to do them every day. So if y'all want to just hear me get my thoughts off, log on there and check it out.
Definitely, man. Pav, we're going to holler at you next Monday, and we're going to take another quick break, last break of the show. On the other side, we're going to bring Larry Legend in for this week's edition of Respect the Culture. We'll be right back in a minute.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not.
And we back, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. There we go. I was trying to get the right camera. I forgot that Dante was actually on the producer. I forgot that. What my fault? I forgot Nikhil left early. But it's all good.
Nigga name literally in the captions. You forget every time. It's crazy. This is crazy.
I wasn't looking down on the screen. We know we have the everybody face on, man. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this episode. I'm not gonna hold you with our segment, Respect the Culture, as you can see right here on the screen, our weekly segment with comedian Larry Legend. We got Larry on the building, man. You can follow him at Larry is Legend on all social media platforms. Larry, how you feeling, my brother?
I'm good. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I'm good. I got my headphones like y'all. I was trying to get like y'all. I'm gonna have a whole thing behind me. It ain't gonna be this shit no more. One of these times. But I'm good, man. I'm okay. I'm good. Are y'all good? I've been seeing the internet.
I'm better now. I had to take a break from Twitter for like 2 days, man. I had first of all the election. I couldn't believe what happened. Like I said on Friday, the outcome wasn't shocking to me. It's how dominating it was. That was shocking to me, and the fact that he won a popular vote by like so much. I said it was going to be a blowout. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout like that. And then after the election, I just didn't want to hear dumb takes from both sides because I felt like nobody was correct in anything of this. I was like, no, I'm just going to take a little break. But I was good. Then the Bears lost yesterday, and I wasn't good. Then I got it all out of my system today. Before we get there, I just want to say, shout out to you. Your Halloween skit on not sharing the blunt was hilarious, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Definitely hilarious. But yeah, man, let's talk about the election. What are your thoughts on what happened, the fallout? I kind of guess you kind of see the battle on Twitter with, black men, black women, as we see all the time, but it's always heightened during these times. What do you think about everything that's happened after the election?
I think for one, I think people got to take into consideration a lot of things like Kamala. I have to say her name right. I always say it wrong, and when somebody told me how to say it right, they was like, "Think masala." But anyway, she had 100 days to run, and I don't think 100 plus days to run this campaign. I think people had to realize a couple of things about what the country want to see, what we don't want to see, because people voted for very small reasons. They didn't vote for the grand picture of a lot of. They might have voted for the grand picture of their pockets. They might have voted for the grand picture of their families or whatever they say they did. But it was little things that really lost her this race. I didn't think it was like you said. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout like the way it was. It was like Shaq in 2001 versus. Right. She was Matumbo though. She was Matumbo. Yeah. But you saw that shit. So like, it's what I don't want people to do is this whole I don't like you because you voted for this person or I guess your opinion may have swayed some people from taking this thing so serious or whatever they doing, because black people always get the short end of the stick anyway. So it don't really matter when it comes to us like fighting each other over this, when this should have been information we should have never knew. As far as like when we was kids, it wasn't the time. Bang could speak on this a little bit. I'm not saying he ain't 100 years old, but you know what I'm saying? Like Bang was alive when motherfuckers did not talk about politics with each other. So like this whole new era of us getting so involved that we finna fight each other over two classes of people who don't like us. Like neither one of those sides like us. But before we started this today, before we got on the show, I had just got a text message from somebody who I know that makes a lot of money, and they are not pro-Trump at all. But he brought up in a family group chat that we should, this is the time to invest, and that people have to take out their emotions in certain aspects of this and see where you can win at. And I think that's what we all got to do at this point. Black people especially, we the ones, because all this arguing about black men don't support or whatever the case, I think Women learn
which is BS because the numbers say otherwise.
bro, black people are the ones who carry the Democratic Party. We always vote in majority for that party. The Mexicans be 50-50, the Asians be 50-50, the white folks be 50-50. We be 90-80%.
Yeah.
The whole men, women, others, whatever you want to call it. So it'd be like, stop this whole little thing where we into it. And I won't, like I said on the internet, and I didn't get a lot of flack for it, thank God, because addressing women is not a thing you want to do as a man.
Oh no, not on Twitter.
No.
Not really anywhere.
Yeah, especially not on Twitter.
Yeah, not on that Twitter though. But like I brought the conversation of like, y'all see that those women still voted with their men. And we have to start getting that bridge gap between us and them, where it comes to where we can all come on one accord to do something right for our whole people.
Yeah,
because they done used our women to push so many agendas and so many narratives and left their ass in the back like every single time. And it's like we still arguing with each other about $200 dates and stupid shit like that. We need to get over it. But niggas got to do their job too, though. Don't get me wrong. This deadbeat nigga that was just out there today or last night, the deadbeat guy, them kind of guys, get them the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But like, that was my opinion on the whole thing. I think we could bring something. I think some good can come from this, like in a way.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think also one thing we can't do, no matter how upset you are with the results or, you know, the way certain people voted. I know everybody in this chat got Mexican homies, got Puerto Rican homies. So don't allow what the results of this election happen, you know, deter you from
big racist
to build those bridges.
Right,
and now
exactly.
you trying to act like everybody else and be racist because that shit is just as ignorant.
Shouts out to Francisco.
Did y'all see like some people talking about they going to eat Starbucks and get Starbucks now?
Yeah, that was corny to me.
Yeah, silly.
He touched the blue bracelets and all of that shit.
Yeah, that was corny to me, man.
There's
Cause
a lot of goofy shit going on, and like I'm just coming to what you saying, Tay. Like that whole racism part of it is stupid because, like you said, we all be with each other all the time, and some of us face the same. Mexicans and us face some of the same shit, especially.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and I also feel too. It's like to me, and you know, because I was big thing. Oh, we ain't helping y'all no more. It's just like, you know, now you're becoming what you hate a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But pause. I'm gonna stop you there, Scott, because one thing that I learned years ago is that black people are more conservative than they want to believe.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff that you just said is shit that a lot of black people has been saying for a while. It's just now they're saying it outwardly. And this is why I said what I said on last Friday's show. And this is not all. So this is not Orlando. This is not you. And I'm pointing you out because if you say that I'm that old again, fam, I will find you and I will fight you. Nigga, I wasn't even born when Jimmy Carter was. I was born in 82. I was born in 82, my nigga. But nah, black people, or not, I won't say black people, but people of color, however you want to group this people of color, there's a lot of people of color who vote for the idea of Trump. They vote for the idea of the man. And part of it is partly get it out the mud and he's rich and all of the rap. Part of that is that. But you hear more people say, I like the fact that he says whatever he wants to say, how he say it. You hear more people say that as the rallying cry. I watched this Hispanic dude I think it was on CNN, to where this Hispanic family was talking about how they are now documented, but this was just 7 years ago since when they got documented. Their son is first generation Mexican here, and he voted for Trump, and that was the first thing his ass said. Well, I like the fact that he speaks his mind and he can say what he wants. People voted for the idea of that. A lot of white people voted for the idea of keeping the power structure the way that it is. So when you have that, and when you have people voting for the idea of things, you have that tells the story. But what we got to understand is a lot of the voting that we do is for the idea of something in general. When we voted for Barack Obama, those 2 times, we voted for the idea of a black man being in office and that black man being able to do something for us. A lot of white people voted for George Bush because of the idea of what that structure could be after dealing with Clinton as. People voted for Clinton in 1992 and 1996 for the idea of getting our nation back on track when it comes to crime. And that's why that crime bill came. Like the crime bill came because of Republican talking points that happened during Reagan, and Clinton taking those talking points and framing it in a democratic way, going to black communities, going to the black church and telling black people, yo, vote for me. I'm going to make sure that your streets and your neighborhoods are clean. And that's how he was able to get in office. Also, the idea of him being cool got him in office too. We could keep this going. But what I think people need to understand is that the Republicans really played the long game. Once the whole thing with Richard Nixon happened, and this is why I don't have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, is because they don't necessarily do their research. They don't look at things. They just watch Joe Rogan and think that's what they get all their information from. Republicans played the 50-year long game. And I wasn't necessarily a fan of Kamala Harris. But this is the best part, and I know I'm sorry I took the lane here. So this is the end of this right here. They played the long game, and the main reason why I voted for Kamala Harris is because if you look at the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas and Judge Alito can retire right now. They can retire as soon as he's sworn in, and then there's going to be 2 more conservative judges on the Supreme Court. And Judge Roberts can do the same thing, and they're going to last you for 50 years, Jack. So when you look at that, not necessarily Republican versus Democrat, just the way people do things from an ultra-conservative matter is going to rule the Supreme Court for at least 50 to 60 years. That, to me, was enough to say, nah, I ain't voting for Buddy ass. But all the time, people vote for ideas. They vote for the thought of something and not vote for something that's real and quantitative. And what's going to happen is 10 years down the line, no matter who's in office, you're going to be like, damn, we kind of fucked shit up by voting for dude because we gave them everything. And that's when you have to really do your research and find out not who you vote for, but why are you voting for that? Because I'm not Republican or Democrat. I don't really give a fuck about any of them.
Definitely, man.
But my bad for taking the lane like that.
No, and it's a liberal judge retiring too, so we really fucked. But yeah,
and those are positions you gotta pay attention to more than anything, man. Let's move on. We got the Grammy nominations have just been announced a couple days ago. We talk about people getting mad. So it's funny when people get mad at Grammy nominations. For like artists that I don't know why he thought was going to be nominated for Grammy, but leading the rapper who leads with the most Grammy nominations is Mr. Kendrick Lamar. I think it's fair to say 2024 was probably the year Kendrick, as far as the hip hop space goes. He's nominated for 7 Grammys for he's got 1 rap song he got 2 nominees for rap song, Like That, the Future joint, Not Like Us. Not Like Us is also nominated for Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Music Video of the Year, Rap Performance of the Year, and he got 2 performances, Rap Performance of the Year, Like That and Not Like Us. Lara, what you think about Kendrick's nominations? What chance you think how many you think he's gonna win, and what other nominations stood out to you from the Grammys?
First and foremost, shout out to all of the people that I know that got nominated, because I can't name them all, and I'm sure I'm gonna forget some names if I did. When it comes to Kendrick, though, how many did he get nominated for?
7.
Oh, damn.
I would say he's gonna leave with at least 3. I don't know if Song of the Year. That thing is that on there? Song of the Year?
Yes, that's probably going to everybody.
See that nigga. I honestly wouldn't give it to him because he owed that nigga $300 or whatever it was. I wouldn't give him the money, but I mean the award. But it's fucked up because I'm so disconnected from the real world sometimes when it comes to certain stuff that's popular like that. That song, I probably never heard it. I have never heard a Bad Bunny song. So I say that with truth. My girl actually played me like 6 of them, and I didn't know none of them.
You ain't heard Tipsy though?
I heard I see the video come up, and I see it, and I scroll right up.
Wow.
You know, I don't be out either no more.
I feel you though, because it be songs that's popular that I don't hear, and then like Pavy say something like,
I work in radio, so I'm different.
I heard it because my homie went to Nashville and I was like, yo, this shit's going crazy out here. And so like that's legit the only reason I listened to it on Tidal. And I was like, okay, it's a little catchy. And then when I found out the Jaquan shit, like I hope he wins just so Jaquan can get the Grammy too.
That would be nice. Jaquan, we haven't seen him in a long time. Shout out to Jaquan. The house was really great. The house party was great on that video. But Kendrick, like I said, I'm gonna go with 3 out of the 7. I don't know if he's gonna get song of the year, but he gonna get all the other shit, rap, performance of the year, all of that type of shit. He getting that. I also want to shout out I don't know her, but Doechii. I think I've been talking to my brother Reese about this a lot lately. She one of the few artists recently that I really like her. Like I don't listen to her, but like I don't listen to a lot of female rap because they be talking about stuff that I just can't relate to, and I ain't really, I'm just not really into it like that. So I know who raw. I keep it there, and then I let the women tell me who they think is raw. But Doechii is somebody that I feel like is raw regardless of what she is. If she a woman, she a man. The music she put out, I didn't even know she did that one record with Kodak Black, that hit she got, like a fucking hit. So shout out to her because I feel like she's setting the bar very high for the next flux of women. Like even with all the women that had an album out this year, she did a lot in a little bit of time with that one album. And
you got to shout out Top Dog. Top Dog's doing a great job of still keeping it afloat, even when Kendrick left the label.
Artist development.
Y'all see my fit? Y'all see my fit? This ain't Top Dog-ish.
It's the
Every time you see Top Dog, he got a red hat, black hoodie.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Tipsy is officially the second longest running #1 song in Hot 100 history.
Yeah.
Damn, already?
The first one?
It only trails. And what's funny is it only trails Old Town Road. So
I wanted to forget about this, huh?
Yeah, I already did. It couldn't have been that great. But,
I will say this is when Kendrick wins, because he's gonna win, even if he only wins one, it's gonna make the Kendrick just open his mouth. Somebody gonna hand him a Grammy right now. It's gonna make it 30 times funny because Justin did.
He should say that shit when he get the. He should say that shit when he accept the award.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Are they gonna put him on the stage? I mean,
yeah,
100% putting Kendrick on the
stage. They got
to.
Listen to what I'm saying though, y'all. They haven't been putting hip hop awards on the TV in a few years. I feel
it depends on who wins.
Okay, I got you.
And Kendrick, when Kendrick won. Yeah, when Kendrick won the last time, they put him on TV. No disrespect to Killer Mike.
I got to say this, man.
Go ahead.
The Super Bowl's the next week. They're getting the call.
They're getting the call. And no disrespect to Killer Mike, but they wasn't gonna put Killer Mike on TV.
Nah.
And then he got arrested after that too.
I hate that he got arrested because Hov said he was gonna surrender his time to Killer Mike to let him talk. And Goofball got arrested. That's crazy.
But no, I don't think Kendrick's going to win Song of the Year. I think that's going to be Shabuzi. But I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Record of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Record. He's going to win the rap awards that he's nominated for. That's the given. But I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Record of the Year. But Song of the Year, that's going to Shabuzi or Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter been lined it up too.
What's another one? What's that song?
I don't know another song.
I forgot the name of it, but that shit been every fucking way. I know the song. I don't know the name of that shit.
Yeah, I know
that shit. I'm like, God damn, that shit was major too.
Did that TikTok nigga get nominated?
Who?
The one nigga that everybody be doing this dance at left, do it, right, do it.
Nah, that nigga ain't getting nominated.
Hell no.
That song was everywhere too. I'm surprised.
That was last. Yeah, that was. I feel like that song.
Yeah, that might have been a year ago.
Yeah, that's about 2 years old.
I just heard of Sabrina Carpenter like a month ago. How she, you know what I mean? Like y'all
Disney Kid.
Yeah, but she came out and she had like 8 records on the top 10. Like,
and she a Disney Kid.
I always confuse her with Sabrina Claudio, the one that was calling black women roaches that everybody got cancer.
Yeah, I was because I got the kid too. I was aware of Sabrina Carpenter because all that Disney shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
makes
never
sense.
heard
That
her
makes sense.
before, but I just know it was songs was everywhere. So that's why I got from her. But last topic, man. I know you said you want to talk baddies. I think it's self-explanatory, but I want to know exactly where you're going with this one.
All right. Well, I'm not talking about those baddies that's on that TV show that call themselves baddies that aren't bad. I'm talking about the ones that come out every day like new gym shoes. So I was sitting up with my girl and we was talking about I feel like we were talking about young men and the things that they because I see moms with some atrocious looking women. I'm sorry to say that, but I see them with women that I would never be with. And I wondered, like, man, what's going on? It's so many baddies out. So we having this conversation, and I came to this conclusion, but I wanted y'all opinion. Do y'all think we dumbed down from fine women?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, nigga.
because every day you get on the internet, it's a new one. I'm on Facebook, right? Facebook is an app that I have never like during the time that I was like on Facebook trying to get some off Facebook was like high school and college a little bit
Yeah,
in there, and
college.
then I got off of there. And when I came back, they was doing stuff like poking people and stuff. It was crazy. And this new so my point is that my algorithm isn't set up for me to see baddies. My algorithm is set up for me to see funny stuff, basketball stuff like that. But when that threads thing come up. And they don't be necessarily bad, but it be women showing their bodies off and stuff. The threads joint, you
Be
scroll
crazy.
through it, it be like, yo, what is this? Like, is this what's on threads? Like, this what people been
Or the For You tab on Twitter.
For You tab, and somebody told me about that too. So they was like, I saw everybody talking like, man, when you hit that For You tab, you'll see porn. You ain't, you don't even like porn on there.
Right.
You gonna see it on there.
So as the person that looks at filth on the social media accounts, well, really on Twitter, because it be there as soon as you wake up. Threads is the safe for work content. Twitter has the not safe for work content in your For You section.
So look,
I don't know how I got there though, because on Threads I'm barely there. Why the holes there?
It's always on there. I've never been on. I
think they botched like 4 times. I think they flooded Thread with bots just to get more traffic in there. Because a lot of them, you'll look on there and it's like, oh yeah, you're using the chat bot. This sentence don't even make sense. Like it just be random bullshit.
It just be look. He said it's us. It's us. We the ones who got all this stuff going on. Nah, look,
free bull bang,
bro. I get on my For You, and usually when I hit my For You, it's just like random viral tweets, funny videos, stuff like that. And I start seeing people talk about it. One day I clicked my For You because I usually never be on there, and it was like, the newest titties that came out. Like what's going on, man? Like why are we, and it's to the point where it's dumbed down. Like
what's funny?
So much.
I think social media is kind of the way you're saying, where it's like it's a new chick every day. And I think it also kind of I feel like for men and women, it kind of makes their expectations higher than it need to be because you see all these people on social media, you always think there's more. I think you retweeted a tweet that had me dying laughing. It was that kind of fact. So I was like, don't settle. Keep going. There's always something better. That's not necessarily true. And I think if you go to one of the main problems with dating, I think would be everybody thinks they can get better. Everybody can't get better. Some can, some can't. In the world, Michael Jordan, Mark Rashad told Michael Jordan on Last Dance. Some can, some can't. And I think what you going on Instagram or Twitter, wherever, bad bitch, you think that, I can get all of them too. You probably can't. And I think that's where it is a little bit when it comes to that.
Especially when
overexposure, G.
Yeah. Somebody close to you probably so it's like, yeah, I could do this too. It's like, nah, and then like to your point, Scott, what's better? What is better to you? Everybody don't know what's better. So that's what's like they just chasing this thing. But go ahead. I just wanted to say that.
No, you have something else, Dante?
I thought Dante was going to say something.
Oh, no. I was just agreeing. I think it's just overexposure and it's a false sense of connection, and you feel like it's a tweet that goes viral like once a month. But they were like, I just feel like we weren't supposed to see this many attractive people.
We really weren't. Yeah,
like that's when I Scott, like I always say, the internet is the greatest terrible invention ever because
100%.
The connection is great. That prime example, when we went off to college, for people who left the crib, you were able to keep in contact with people, and you found people you went to grammar school with and shit like that. But at the same time, it gives you this sense that, oh, I can go link up with this person, or even, you might reach out to somebody, start exchanging messages and shit. They live in a whole different state. You're not going to go pull up on them, but it's just that false sense of access, and it'll force you to do some shit that you normally wouldn't do. Whereas back in the day, you had to go out to meet people. Like, you feel me? Like, when people was cheating, they had somebody across town that they would link up with.
That's also the funny part. People say, "Oh, we cheat more in this generation." No, nigga, we had whole families across the street.
It's just easier access.
Yeah, you flirt more. You thirst. What is it? The word you
thirst trap more. Right.
Not lust more. You got a lot more lust. But
nah, man, imagine trying to catch somebody cheating. All you guys in the landline. No, they niggas was cheating more.
Back in the day, they cheating on the next block. They got a whole other family.
Whole family across the street.
Right there.
You don't even know. Yeah,
we the Williams. That's the Williams Johnson.
You don't know, that's your brother, nigga. So yeah, I think that's really what it come down to. Social media, it is definitely too much overexposure, man. But Laro, man, anything you want to plug before we get you about it? Anything y'all doing with Culture Seller? Any new skits you got coming? Anything? Let them know.
We got new skits coming for sure. We back locked in, so it's gonna be a flurry of some new stuff. But look out for our new show. That's Raw. I'm gonna plug it right here because I want people to understand what I'm doing. I'm doing a show called That's Raw. It's a video show. We bring in like the basement back. We film it in a basement. And I just want people to bring us their videos. Send us y'all videos. If you're not signed, I really want your video. If you sign, I need your people to be all right to clear this because I don't got time for all that extra shit. So send us y'all videos. You know what I'm saying? That's Raw. Culture Seller is on Instagram. You could just hit Culture Seller on Instagram. Hit me on Instagram, Larry is Legend 1. Larry is Legend on everything else. TikTok, I'm back on there too. So, I'm outside. I'm ready to get back to it.
Definitely, man. Follow him, Larry is Legend on Twitter, at Larry is Legend 1 on Instagram, man. Laro, always good to holler at you, my boy.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good. Y'all have a great one.
Yes, sir. We're going to wrap up this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. Shout out to everybody who joined us today on the show. It was very where's the win? Probably one of the funniest segments we've done on this show. Shout out to everybody who watched. So
where's the win?
Where is the win? But we're gonna wrap this up, man. Of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. You can follow Dante at October Zonte on Twitter. Follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Follow the Barbershare Network at Barbershare Net on all social media platforms as well. Follow our partners HMB Media and HMB Media TV on Twitter and at HMB Media on Instagram. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershare Network. You see right here on the screen, you take this QR code, take you right to the link. If you subscribe to the $10 Barbershare access fee, you get 25% off on your first Barbershare Network purchase over at bcnetshop.com. That is bcnetshop.com, your one-stop shop for everything Barbershare Network merchandise. And yeah, man, that is all we've got for y'all today. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. And we will be back on Friday to get you ready for another week in the NFL. Yeah, that's all we got. We'll holler at y'all.